and build it the proper way.
But I'm actually behind everybody now. Even
can't do nothing with
As the Iranians stated, according to TASM News, that Iran, as it warned a few hours ago, will give a defensive
You need to have friends and
U.S.
family.
aggression,
If
which
your
is being carried
friends
out
are
under the
not talking
pretext
about
of the
business
Apache
and trying to
helicopter
disrupt
crash.
you,
The Iranians now claiming in this statement that the Apache was not hit by an Iranian drone and was in fact a crash somewhere within New York news. They then further stated that no threats were left unanswered. So largely showing us right now the Iranians have made it incredibly clear that they view the actions of the U.S. along their coastline as an action that must be responded to. And we've already seen that at this moment live on air.
Did you see at the club
what appears to be U.S. bases and forces throughout the Middle East? We saw an attack earlier on the Mufak Salty Air Base in Jordan, just outside the capital city of Amman, about 30 miles east. We've also seen what appears to be possible attacks at the Ali Al Salim Air Base, Camp Bufring, and the Kuwait International Airport within the Kingdom of Kuwait. And we've also seen what appears to be missile strikes attempting to attack the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet headquarters and naval station that's operated out of Bahrain. All of that happening live on air. So it does show us right now that the Iranians are in fact responding and are following through with the threats, which largely appears to us to be showing the Iranians are still not willing to enter eastward for a peace deal.
And they can give you
right now we actually have even more breaking news coming out. So Andy, what do we got?
Okay, so we've gotten some videos. I'm glad we found some video. Of course, pictures tell us a little bit, but the video tells us a little bit more. So we've gotten two videos. First of all, let's start with the SAM system was seen intercepting Iranian ballistic missiles over Bahrain. Apparently, just a short while ago. So it's a more close-up view of the Patriot action, just to let y'all see what that looks like if you want to take a peek.
When Joe called, he's talking about doing some business, man. I can't wait for Joe. Hey, what's up, Joe? What's happening, man? Hey, what you got going on? Yeah, man, you know, I got this tractor, you know, and
did they put a slow-mo effect on this video or something? Why am I hearing like a noise in slow-mo?
I think they did because that missile's moving
Rick
incredibly
needs a
slow.
tractor, brother. Oh, is that right? Yeah, man.
This is the glitchiest video ever, but I mean, there's better too, but projectile coming in.
Y'all have heard of
make some money.
Filmed on iPhone.
Now they throw me $5,000-$10,000 because they made $200,000 together. Hey D, man, we just, you know, I want to wire you some money. Why? Oh man, you know,
additionally, moving us on from this clip, we also get to see what appears to be another explosion, largely confirming our analysis that we've been making on air on the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet headquarters, again, showing that this was one of the targets that was attacked.
Okay, so you go all together, watch all the movies together, hang out together, but you can't make no money together.
Flash that we saw from the aerial camera, or at least from the higher camera on the side of the building that we saw.
We go in,
seems to match up with the same size explosion.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, folks, I think that the U.S. Fifth Fleet's headquarters is somewhere, and I'm trying to make sure that I get this correct. It's somewhere within the naval yards out here.
Teach your children.
Actually, hold on, correction. Yeah, actually, this is the Fleet's headquarters right here. You can actually see on the satellite photography that was made and published during this moment in time that there actually was some U.S. Navy guided missile destroyers here at the moment, because this is also a joint Bahraini American base that's operated within this area. You can also see a couple of other bergs here as well, and a couple of other U.S. support vessels. So this is the area of the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters. To let you all know, a direct hit is not going to be leading to most likely any casualties to speak of, because
somebody keep trying to teach you the rules, and you keep telling them I can drive
almost in entirety of 4 months at this point. Evacuation was conducted very early on before the war even started in the middle of actually mid-February, and we saw that almost all U.S. Navy personnel that were working at this headquarters were removed from the region, and we understand that the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet is now being operated remotely from the headquarters here within the United States. Also, all U.S. Navy surface vessels also left the area as well, meaning that this area has been completely abandoned. Still, Iran does pick this as one of their top targets to hit whenever they conduct retaliatory strikes, which we largely believe is for a symbolic purpose more than cause physical damage, because we know that most of the buildings have physically been destroyed for months now, blown up and opening attacks by the Iranians, meaning they're hitting basically rubble at this point, and there's only a skeleton crew of naval personnel and other U.S. military at this base, and they largely hunker down ready shelters whenever it even it looks like the Iranians might fire, meaning the casualties would be incredibly minimal as a percentage chance. And we would also understand that there is no further damage to be caused to the facility because most of the facility
no matter how much money you want, you have to
and also,
build
by the way, it appears to be what you're saying there. Fifth Fleet headquarters only has what they call mission critical staffing.
red
So, like you
socks,
said, a
red
skeleton
shoes,
crew is
and red
currently
pants
there,
on,
and they're simply there to
and you walk
oversee
in there
the
with red
localized
pants,
infrastructure
red socks,
impacts
and
in the
blue
area,
shoes,
basically.
You're
So it sounds to me
not
like they're simply
getting
there
the
just to say
money,
we have
or you're
people
gonna
there
get
to a large
less
degree. So,
So
is
you
there,
have
there's
to
no
know
ships here. Is that
what
what you're
they
saying as
want.
well?
Yeah, there's no ships. There's nothing. They
Now, a lot
got
of
all the
people
ships
say,
out of there
Mr.
way
Whitehead,
early
you
on
go in
and
there
send
and
them
you
out
get
into
these
the Arabian Sea.
how much these
So that way they wouldn't be
corporations
stuck like fish in a barrel if
Because I
they
want to get started now.
later on.
Guess what? I've seen it
Because that would be an absolutely horrendous
$25,000,
position
and they'll
for
work
a
their
couple
weight
of our
in
vessels,
gold.
especially what we could
But
kind
I
of
would,
almost call
I would
capital ships like
borrow
First
$20,000 to go get
by the way,
myself
folks,
going.
I do have to say,
And this,
First
we're
are
going to
not
question
capital
and
ships
answers.
by
So you
definition.
don't
They're
need
destroyers,
us.
which generally aren't considered that. But considering
But
that
I'm
each
telling
early
you,
bird costs
these
about $4
things,
billion
check them out
to build,
and go
I would
get
say
it
they're
done.
capital ships at that point because they're about half the cost of an
I would
aircraft
borrow
carrier. So we don't want, like, $12 billion of
to
early
get
birds stuck in the middle of the
how
Persian
easy it is
Gulf, no way
to
to
get
get out in a
credit cards
hypothetical scenario.
or
So
three
they were
credit
all
cards for
evacuated prior.
$50,000.
I don't believe there's anything here except for maybe like a couple of Coast Guard
Okay.
cutters,
You know
base
how easy it
security,
is?
and
I
a
would
couple
go
of people to
borrow-
just
hey, man, let me
maintain
hold
and keep the
20,000,
base
brother. I'll
slightly
give you back the credit
operational,
card for 25,000.
just in the advent in
I'm gonna
case we
get
need to be brought back
200,
online, which is now
300.
impossible because the
And
actual
I'm gonna keep
headquarters buildings and a couple of
building
other
and building
critical
and
structures have
building.
been destroyed already.
and start my empire.
Yeah, I can see. I can confirm that on February the 26th, there was a whole bunch of
But
reporting that the
some
U.S.
people
Navy
say,
had already
well,
withdrawn
that's a
all of its
lot of
vessels
money
from
with
the
Mr.
Bahrain base that we're
Whitehead,
currently
you
looking
know.
at right here.
But go in and try to buy one today.
That was back in February 26th,
I saw
or
a
February 26th,
5-year report.
excuse me.
Stop that.
So,
I
they
can't
were
say the names
confirmed,
anymore.
but they haven't
They
ever
told
come
me to
back.
stop saying their name.
So
They
that
sent me
appears
a
to be definitely
cease
confirmed.
letter.
Yeah, so generally there's not really
Like,
a
I'm
lot of
sending you
damage
people.
assessments that we can give for Fifth Fleet. It's not like we've lost anything here. Everything that was
we
probably
sell
hit right
them
now
to-
was lost
we
already
sell them
months
to-
ago.
I think $20,000 is a lot of money.
Losses, literally. So there's not really much here to speak of, rather than the Iranians
sell them
hit it
to.
probably just as a symbolic act.
Some people say, well, Mr.
Face, I
Whitehead,
suppose.
we can get that for $2,500. Well, you get what you pay
They
for.
have already. So moving us
So
on
they
to
say,
that
well,
strike
what's the
in
difference
Bahrain,
in
what we're
you
watching right there
and
on that
them?
clip. We have also been able to hear
tell you the
that
difference
Kuwait has come
between
under
us and
attack
them.
several times over
First
the
of
course of
all,
the day. We haven't
most
got
of
any
the people
videos
that sell it to you, they say, here's your
evidence of
corporation,
be able to
goodbye.
show exactly what's happening there.
And now you got to go on the internet
that they're
and
attacking
listen
either
to
Kuwaiti
people
International
talk
Airport
all this
or all
like
the
they
Al
know
Salim
what they're
again,
talking
as
about.
statistically, those are pretty much
And
the
now you
only
got to
targets
go
that they're
2,
hitting in
3
this point
years trying
inside
to
of
make
Kuwait.
mistakes.
Moving us on out of Kuwait, we've also been able to see some very interesting developments along the western regions of the Islamic Republic to our news today, which was quite interesting to see. Reports of explosions that come out within the Avaj region. We don't really know what's going on here, to be entirely honest with y'all folks. We haven't got any video or picture evidence confirmed U.S. strikes in this area, and also these are remote out of the range and scope of the U.S. strikes that are being conducted along the coastline right now. Before we get on into the rest of the news, we're on north within the western area of the Iranian borders. We do have a lot of people talking about what the probability is going to be of the Iranians attacking Israel again here in the near future. And Matthew, what are people thinking about this, and what do you think about it as well?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so far, like we've gone over before, Iran is just generally keeping its attacks to the U.S. bases right now, and they say they're going to be decisive with it. But I'll say this right now.
Let's say, for instance,
Iran is
you're
flinching
not
with
with Manta.
really not doing a whole bunch of
You know who
damage.
Manta
It
is?
might have an impact that, you know, our
So you
very
have to
like
list yourself
base in
all
Bahrain,
the
definitely
bureaus. You have to
but
list
there's not a
yourself
whole bunch of
with
stuff
all
there.
the
So,
bureaus.
not very
Yelp.
decisive,
You
but
have all
what's going to happen
the
next? Will
bureaus,
Israel
right?
get it, or what's going to
But
happen?
banks will
43%
check
said
the
Iran
big
will strike
boys and
Israel
big
very
girls.
soon.
They
They're
know
getting
the-
around
the
to it
sign up with
again.
Manta.
32% said Iran will only strike U.S. bases, and 16% said Iran really doesn't want to do too
number
much,
two,
but they need to
do
make
you
it seem like
have
they're
a
ready to go.
domain name
And I would say this.
or a Gmail?
Israel
Do you
is
have a
more feared at this point than the
gmail.com,
United
or do you
States.
have
I
a
think that's what's happening
yahoo.com?
right
That's a
now.
rookie.
Iran knows
That's
that
why
the
you
U.S.
pay
largely held
money.
Netanyahu back during this last round of attacks on Israel. And
You
we
should have
heard
a
reports this morning
.com.
that apparently Netanyahu held off on sending a
You should have
whole
a
bunch of
website
Israeli
that
fighter
has
jets to go hit
all
Iran for
of the
another
data,
round,
a lot of data
right as
points
the U.S. president
built
called
in
him
it,
during the end
with
of the
specific
recent
names
spat.
in
So
it, things
to me,
in
it seems like Iran thinks they can strike the United States
When the
forces that
bank
are
runs
U.S.
it through
bases,
its
and generally necessarily get away with it, but they don't want Israel because they're probably not going to get away with that. So I think they're going to hold off on Israel. Now, if they do it, you know, I wouldn't be too shocked, but I think they might hold off. That's my guess. But
I would have to say that I think that the Iranians are probably just going to be trying to strike U.S. bases because right now the Iranian strategic position is one that is incredibly advantageous to them and incredibly disadvantageous to us. As long as they play their cards well, they can conduct these saving face attacks and generally avoid being directly hit back into the also making the United States strategically like a joke and also inflicting some economic damage. Considering that the Iranians are not conducting any direct offensive attacks against the United States, this could largely lead the United States into justifying a continuation of hostilities due to a defensive action that would largely be argued. They are able to ensure that their blockade on the Strait of Hormuz is completely unchallenged. This is the hold-up that's now being conducted within the Congress, and this will further start to force the United States into a worse position strategically because the United States and most of the Western world will continue to see that oil resources will probably start to rise in price once they physically run out. I don't think they're going to be rising rapidly until then. And once it gets to that point, it's going to be like hitting a stone wall, and the prices will start to skyrocket because the physical availability is no longer there to trade like crypto. And once we start to see that, the United States will largely be forced to accept any and all Iranian demands that they make without there really even being any.
So you're going to get your Euroline.
At least on the U.S.
What's that going to do? Who's going to give you $100,000, $200,000 if you got a $50 quill?
Pressure that would be caused to the United States that way. So as long as they play their cards and attack can be attacked without any major responses being caused as a result, they can generally just game the thing out and wait it out until the United States is forced to accept their demands.
Okay.
Because at this point, there's really no reason for them to even negotiate with the United States. They have all of the hand. Because right now, considering that it's not a kinetic armed conflict, the entire war is done in every single way that is direct military action. One of the most important ways is economic. And that comes down to who is damaging the other the worst economically. The Islamic Republic of Iran or the United States. And right now, I would say that there's an argument to be made for months now that the Iranians are clearly damaging the Western economic sphere more so than the U.S. is able to damage them economically. So if they're able to wait it out, they'll get what they want. And that's why we've been a huge proponent at this point of resuming military actions with the specific focus of reopening the Strait of Hormuz, because we do not reopen the Strait of Hormuz, the Iranians will wait this out and they will achieve a victory via economic strangulation. And I would certainly like to avoid any U.S. defeats, especially at the hands of what I would consider to be a militarily inept and politically incompetent Republic of Iran, as I'll be losing a lot of face on the world stage as a significant military power, and also will be losing a lot of Middle East with our Gulf state allies, which will most of the time either jump up to the Iranians to see efforts that would use the Strait of Hormuz, or they might start to move towards the People's Republic of China, which is the larger power player within the Iranian sphere of influence, because the Chinese are the ones that largely support the entirety of the Axis powers, and we see that the United States starts to completely lose control of the Middle East within the decade to follow if we end up losing strategically due to Iranian economic strangulation.
If you don't have 40 hits on your website, the bank will
at least from what I would know at the moment right now, but that's why we're pretty significant advocates of continued military action, and I would wish that the United States executive branch would start to brief the Congress, especially those in the House of Representatives and the Senate, of the situation in real form with actual intelligence and data that they have to be able to back up that claim, because it's an accurate one, to be able to see that they actually vote to approve the continuation of the conflict, and to largely bind the hands of the United States that we begin to resolve the conflict in a beneficial way that ends up at least in some form of a pyrrhic victory for the United States, if not a total victory, if the situation is handled properly. But moving us on out of that bit of news, we also been able to hear of some other developments within the area of Iran. We see some footage of the Iranians via Tasking News preparing the rockets that they're going to be launching, which they have now launched throughout the region against the United States of America's bases and also the Gulf states. And we see them here just hanging out around the rockets in the tunnels.
Data points.
The rockets
and what I
appearing to
just
be on
told
some
you
sort
now
of roller
is
carts
how you go
to
in
be
and
loaded
get
onto
that
trailers,
100,000,
TELs.
2, 3,
And we see them removing
400,000.
some of the
After that, then you go in and watch
tabs
this.
on the missiles to prepare them
Now
to
you
be
go
loaded
in
onto a
and do
TEL,
your
and also do some other
financials with a
pre-inspection
CPA,
checks.
but you don't have taxes.
What's that, a Rolex?
So you
That's
go in
actually
and
a
have the
Rolex,
CPA
man. They don't have the money for Rolex in their hand.
financials.
Man, I don't know what that is. I'm not a watch expert.
Projected financials and have them sign off on it. Now you go to banks and get $1 million.
Doesn't look like one to me. I'm still wearing a Citizen, folks, and my Citizen is absolutely spent.
Go
I'm
to
going to have to
banks
do watch
that
here
only
soon. But we can see them continuing to prepare the missiles. Largely just showing missile Aeronica is the best way to explain it. Just showing them preparing the missiles for launch, and also showing the large industrial crane operator control that they have apparently to be able to move the rockets.
Projected finance.
I'm supposed.
Or you can do crowdfunding. Remember this book I showed you?
This is real dramatic right here. I'm sure the music's probably dramatic too. Oh, look, he's writing on it.
$125 on Amazon for the corporate
You want to
kick.
bet? Yeah, that music is
And now
awesome.
you can go crowdfunding. Look online. You can raise
We see them here
$1
writing some
million in
tiny
crowdfunding.
inscription on the rocket is probably something like
$1 million. Why are you on here talking about
I'm very sure.
$200,000?
I do have to say though, the handwriting's actually pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, like that's actually pretty decent writing for Eric.
Because nobody's teaching you.
This guy can probably teach calligraphy, but instead he's in the IRGC. Very unfortunate.
$125 on Amazon.
That's a powerful, mark.
When the last person told you go on there? No, let's go on there and help you get 2 credit cards from Chase. Let's go get you a 2 for Citibank. Okay, Truist, we're going to get that personal, bring that debt down on Truist.
After like a couple of minutes. I mean, that stuff looks like it's going to stick. Like even after this thing launches, that stuff will still be readable.
The entire internet, right?
It's kind of hard to believe they have guys just sitting down here writing propaganda on the side of the missile. It's like nobody's going to read this. It's like the missile is designed to explode. It's not like it stays intact unless the thing malfunctions.
They're playing $125 US base, and US soldier gets to run inside of it before it explodes like a information card.
You're already rich.
Because I don't
You
really
just
know where
don't
in the
know
world
how to
things
put it
everybody
together.
You know, like when you print it, it makes sense because they're going slow enough that you might actually be able to read it. It's large print.
Bank
These things are
statement
flying at like Mach 5,
merchant
though,
account
so
loans,
not Mach 5, but like
credit
Mach 2,
card loans,
Mach 3. So I'm not really getting the whole point of writing
letters of
stuff.
credit,
I don't know about y'all, but I'm not really a speed
revolving lines of credit, credit cards, all types of loans.
from like a mile away. That's a little bit. Let's see.
You're a citizen of the United States, you can get a corporation, and you go out wasting your time with your LLC.
Isn't
that's
that
not
murder in
forgetting
Iran? I mean,
money.
didn't they wipe out 40,000
Go get some money.
I think so. Also, is October,
Now,
is
a lot of
October
people
7th
say
the
to
day that
me,
they
Mr.
conducted
White,
the terror
okay,
attack on Israel?
we're going to go to questions and answers right now, all right? So I've been talking a couple of hours, teaching from one level to the next
they're
level,
literally
and I'm
saying
only
that
going
after
to the
they conducted
second
their
level.
terror attack
The
on Israel,
third
and then
level
Israel
is
responded. They're saying that they're
build a
doing this for
fund.
that. It's like, well,
We have attorneys,
I don't endorse like hurting civilians,
attorneys.
obviously, but I'm like, what
If
the
you
hell
feel
like
like your
watching is
company's
this? You don't attack
ready or
Israel,
big
they
enough,
complain that they
build
responded.
a fund. Have you ever heard of a hedge fund? Have you ever heard of a real estate fund, a technology fund?
Also, I like how they put that in English. Just
That's
for
how they
audiences.
build
And how they
these
have a
big
picture of
buildings.
this guy.
But nobody's
that's
exposing
not
this
real,
to
I
you.
believe.
And how
really
do they
did a
do
lot
it?
of Photoshop to him, though.
With this.
And now you can see them rolling out the TELs for the strikes that they've now conducted while we were on air. But moving us on out of that,
So you're already rich.
we also were able to see that apparently there was some sort of tunnels that the IRGC were hiding in the Warstone province.
You find them on Amazon.
And we also were able to see additionally there were some missile launches as
You get
well
the cork
within
into
the area
person
of
and you build it like a monster.
we saw in this clip. There's the tail of the rocket firing into the distance. We also were able to see
Underwater law. It's not underwater.
apparently reports of Americans coming out. And so
Now,
it doesn't appear that that is the case.
a lot of people say to me,
We also were able to hear that apparently something was
I'm like, I've been talking, teaching
We believe this might be
hours, and I'm gonna go to question and answers and ask you. I'm gonna answer all your questions, and you don't need me. All your questions, you don't need me.
But moving us on out of these public grant, there's also been additional details that have happened in the past 48 hours inside the state of Israel. But before we get to that, we actually have more breaking news coming out at this moment. So what do we got?
Okay, so
You still
first of
gonna
all,
ask me,
I'm
can
seeing
you help
something
me?
interesting
I
here.
guarantee-
We have a B-52 Stratofortress that just showed
I've
up
been
on
talking for
ADS
hours,
data
and
right
if
now.
you
It appears
answer,
to be
you say,
en
Mr.
route to the
Redhead,
United
this is my
Kingdom right
question.
now.
And if
I'm
I
not
can
sure
answer
if
the
we can
question,
make any
my
concrete
30 years of
conclusions
knowledge
off of this
in
at the moment.
business,
It could be
I'll answer
maybe
it. You can say,
something unrelated.
thank you, bye.
But I will say this. The last time we saw the
I've been doing this
B-52s
5
take
years.
strikes on
Same
were stationed out in the
I
UK.
can talk for 6
Or they
months
at least
to a
landed
year
there at some
and not
point. So,
exhaust.
Enforcer, what are you making out of this right here? Is there
keep
just one, or is there multiple, or maybe they have their ADS-B turned off?
It looks like
So, I'm going to go over the question and answers, but if there's somebody that wants to help from us,
Well, generally, I can see where it's heading.
don't go in and
Looks like
deal
it's
with
actually
some of my
heading
pretenders.
right now for somewhere around
Because
REF
we have over
Airport.
500
Although
people
it is
just
keeping a stable altitude at this
on
point.
Instagram
So
acting like
early
me.
on that, it may actually be heading somewhere.
So don't be fooled by these people acting like me. They
interesting
got my
route
picture,
to
they got my
Germany.
name,
Not
they got
but it does
the name is slightly off.
There's only one
Make you think
B-51
it's
or
me.
B-52
Don't
out
put
there in
in
the air,
Derek
and we're
White
still
and
trying to
just
see
look
where
at
it's going to be
all
heading
the
and landing.
imposters with my picture.
Yeah, and also, by the way,
all
we've
my
got some
data,
more
they
detail
taking
about
all my
the U.S.
stuff.
strikes inside of Iran. We are
Don't
seeing
be
here
fooled
that
by these people.
apparently
We have one
the U.S.
number,
is saying that
and
they
that
struck
number is
nearly 20 targets inside of Iran, so 20 different areas, and most of those targets were along the Iranian coast. We do know that they struck Avaz, which is generally, I think that's toward, I think it's over closer toward Pakistan, I think. But it's one of the biggest oil fields inside of Iran to a large degree. They did hit that apparently.
And when I go to
but
question
they're
and
saying
answers,
20
they're
targets.
always
So
blow up the
it does
phone.
appear
Can you
confirmed
help me?
that the
I'm
U.S.
giving you the
airstrikes are largely
information,
over with.
so-
Also, by the way, I'm
but
mistaken. Avaz
some
is
people
not
say
over
I'd
Pakistan.
rather-
My bad
I'd
with
rather you help
that.
me,
But
right? So you
apparently
wanna
the
go
strikes
get your
are over, and the U.S. is saying they
corporation,
struck
get your
20
life
targets,
started.
and that's going to be generally it for the most part.
Dial the number. We are
So we will be waiting to see what other information we get out here in the near future, at least from the United States. It could be anything.
Go in there.
So we'll have to
ask the
eventually
question.
see.
We have no
but moving
other
us on out
secondary
of that bit of
websites.
news,
But the number is
I also see some people talking about the B-52s, and someone said the B-52 is obsolete.
424-543-7522. We have people waiting for you
I don't mean this
now.
like rude,
Our
but
people are
I
like
guess you don't know
24/7. They're always
this
ready to
thing works. Standoff delivery
So,
system. You don't need to
if you
have
go
like
in
a
there
3-year-old
and you
bomber
talk to
to
them, you
drop
tell
off a
them
jazz
if they
It can
didn't
be
answer
70
the
years
phone,
old.
because
It
I
can
know
be
right
100
now the phones are
It
blowing
can
up.
still drop
But
off
I'm
a
going to
jazz.
go to
That's
question
why
and
they're
answers.
70 years
If
old.
they
They
don't
haven't
answer the
replaced them,
phone right
is
away,
because
I
it's
want
a
you to
missile
say,
delivery
Mr.
system. That's
Whitehead
also why the Russians
said
use 80-year-old
that if you
bombers
don't
as
answer
well
my phone,
to
they're
be
going
able
to call
drop
you
off
back.
their
If they
calibers
call
and
you,
other
when
forms
they
of cruise
call you
missiles
back, you
against
say,
Ukraine
Mr. Whitehead
because
said,
there's no reason to upgrade them. There's no reason to
give
make
me a
new
discount.
one. The old ones do the job all the same,
If
so
you
there's
don't
really
tell
no
them
point
that,
in spending
they're not
hundreds
gonna
of
do
billions
it, all
of
right?
dollars replacing a bomber
say,
fleet
Mr. Whitehead said, give me a
with the new
discount. You
bombers
need to
that are
answer
going
the
to
phone
do
right
the
away,
exact
right?
same thing as the old bomber.
All right.
That's generally why
So,
they're still in service. But
Before we go
anyways,
to question and answers, I
moving
want
us
to
on
ask
out of that
everybody,
bit of news that's coming out of the United Kingdom or the
have
general
I been
area,
talking a
we've
while?
also been able to hear
If
that
I've
within the
given you
state of
some
Israel, the
information
Houthis
that's
did fire
helpful
their
to your
missile towards
family,
the other day. We actually covered this on Sunday, and finally got footage of the missile
I can go
getting
get a
shot
drink
down
of
on
water,
the 8th of June, which hopefully this video
eat a sandwich or
will play.
something, say thank you, bye.
And here
Thank
we are.
you.
So here's the
All
clip
right.
of the
I just
interception
want
of
to
the
know
one Houthi missile that was fired
anything
towards Israel.
resonate with you, something that you write down that you think can be helpful to
And there's the
you,
interception.
helpful to your family.
Ooh.
Let's just see
Yeah,
how
got
you
down.
feel. I
That guy
just
said,
shut it
"Yo."
down. No,
I was like,
thanks for
honestly, man, I
watching.
wouldn't
Thank you so
disagree.
much.
Meanwhile, in your
We also want to let you know we're going to be out in
the day several hours before we went on air, and we've additionally been able to see that the Israelis have conducted some airstrikes on Tyre, which we saw in this clip right here. This is near to the Tyre city area, not directly within the metropolitan area of Tyre. And we've also been able to get additional reports as well of strikes throughout the whole of southern Lebanon. With this footage coming
gonna be out with
showing
Jay
the
Leno.
Israeli Air Force's strikes within the area.
See if I can
And
find
additionally,
it.
we also were able to see a picture of this as well. We also got
There we
a
go,
further
right
report
there.
of the Israelis
So we're
coming
gonna
in
be
to
out
attack
there with
within
Tyrese
regions, including
and,
Hezbollah
Jay
fuel
Leno.
trucks, specifically the HEMTTs
in Wisconsin,
manufactured by
27th,
Oshkosh
right?
and
So
used by the
Derek
Israeli
Whitehead
Defense Forces
out,
within the southern area.
Jay Leno
Still showing that
and
FPV
Tyrese,
drones are causing significant
the
issues
singer,
for
the
Israeli
actor,
logistics
the
and
famous
forces
Tyrese,
within the area.
And I'm going to go out there. We're going to
you see here one of the
teaching at the White Party.
Or the
So if you want to get out there, you go in and go check out the 10th annual White Party. Okay. With Tyrese and Jay Leno
circling around for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe they're looking for another target to hit.
We're gonna have a good time out there. It's gonna be a really great time. It's gonna be at the Orpheum Theater
right in front of you. Why in the world are you gonna look for something else? It's like
Wisconsin.
Anyways, they finally did.
It's gonna be the Boys and Girls Club. I think it's www.
and hitting it. But moving us on from that poorly edited clip, we also got to see another one showing that the FPV drones were also being used against the IDF forces near to Beaufort Castle.
Again, that's going to be the Boys and Girls Club in Wisconsin.
The ruins of a Crusades
Boys and Girls Club in
exist here in southern Lebanon. And we also saw that Hezbollah forces were continuing strikes in this area against the IDF as well. Drone forces are starting to show that they are a complete game changer in most wars, even conventional ones that are still being attempted to be fought by the United States and Israel. And for this reason, there's been a lot of demand, especially here on this channel and in a lot of the U.S. public, for the United States military to evolve rapidly, and for most Western militaries to evolve rapidly, to be able to deal with the new drone menace that exists on the battlefield. So far, we've seen that some steps and efforts have been made to try and innovate and bring in modern FPV drones.
All right, so thank you guys for all your nines and everything, but I want to say also,
these efforts have been slow and largely mired with difficulty. We can actually see right here this FPV drone appears to hit near to the rear door.
Just consider what we're
offering. And we actually see that this Merkava Mark IV is a Merkava Mark IV-M.
We're talking about
the trophy defense system.
Getting your corporation,
the trophy defense system did not work because it did not detect the drone as an incoming projectile to be able to fire off a charge at it and destroy it. So the drone was actually able to impact onto the near rear track area of the tank.
That's probably, I know,
depending on how the charge hit this area, the charge may have actually been able to penetrate the light armor near to the rear of the tank and gone into the crew compartment, which would most likely cause injuries and fatalities, along with a possible ammo detonation within the vehicle.
What I've taught you, you can never
the warhead may have actually hit the rear fender of the Merkava, then sending the explosive charge into the trackage or the track linkage, which may have led to a severance of the tracks, or it may have led to no damage at all. So this is kind of a little bit of an iffy hit right here that we're watching a film. We don't know if it knocked the tank out entirely, or if it just hit the track and either immobilized the vehicle for a short period of time or caused absolutely no damage. It's just really hard to say because of the impact point on this vehicle.
I taught you the upside down T.
But that's the end of that clip, but still showing us that Hezbollah is starting to use a far larger number of FPVs against all Israeli forces, whether they be logistics, motorized, mechanized, or armored. Moving us on out of southern Lebanon, and generally out of the Middle East for the moment, it is actually time for us folks to move on and into the rest of the news that we have for the night. We still have a lot of news to cover, folks, generally out of East Asia near to Taiwan, and also out of the war in Ukraine. Because the war in Ukraine, while it's not really getting a lot of headlines, at least on our title today, it has been absolutely huge what's been going on over the past 48 hours in that war. The Ukrainians have been laying down hell on the Russians. And we have the first confirmed mass retreat of Russian forces in the southern front due to a complete lack of supply.
Man, I can't wait to get that to Ukraine news tonight. Honestly, I was hoping to be able to headline the Ukraine news, but the Iran stuff, of course, was active. We had to cover that. It was obviously huge.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
The Ukraine news,
we have a real estate
really over the last 48 hours has been insane with the retreats and things like that. Like it's really wild. Don't stick around for that.
$800 million
it's been absolutely crazy.
You guys have seen me
I do have to say, humongous thanks to everybody who has been watching the show so far tonight.
I've seen you die in the field.
So many people have been here watching. We've had 22,000
seen you in the field.
which is absolutely crazy.
You was out here with me in the field. You was staying open for the 17. You said you were 17.
People have watched the stream in the first hour and 20 minutes.
I'm going to let you really
appreciate know that so many people still continue to consider the channel to be their primary source of news. We try our best every single day, spending dozens of hours a week, $500 million deals.
Prophecy you die.
And hopefully being able to do is going to tonight and covering covering the Middle East situation with great detail. And we do have to keep it in mind, folks, that we will be making sure to cover.
Who else is going to do that? What is that worth?
Come out within the region
where are you going to be able to go in
during the show? So we might have to stop, at least at some point here in the near future on Eastern Ukraine or on the situation in East Asia to return back to the Middle East and cover the developments that are but before we get there, I do have to say that we're going to take a moment to get to a couple of questions. 3 of them from the chat.
This is how we're doing. We're all discussing.
You know,
you're sitting there learning.
What do we got?
Also, by the way, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, by the way. We are only about 180 subscribers away from hitting a channel milestone of 600,000 subscribers, by the way. So a huge shout out to everybody for subscribing. We've gained a lot of new people tonight, by the way, and we're glad to have that. But jumping into our first of 3 super chats, we're getting right back into our very, very wild Ukraine and Russia news this evening.
We're going to go in
a $100 support from none other than Bobby, also known as LC39A, and a huge shout out to you, Bob, for throwing in that support right there. We do appreciate it very much. And he said, I'm here.
Our crowd.
Hey, and a wonderful thing to know that you're here, Bobby. And I got to say, humongous thanks to you for that incredible support.
You want $1 million.
And I was going to say, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Support like yours helps us to be able to keep this channel running day in. And I'm going to say, it's a wonderful and absolutely amazing thing to see that folks like you stick around here on this channel and enjoy enough to support. To make it known for folks who might be new here to the channel, super chatters are the folks who keep this channel running. We do not have any ads or sponsors that run on these streams, meaning that we run these shows every single day. We do not make a single dime or a dollar off of these live streams from ads or sponsors. It is the viewers themselves, the folks like you who are watching right now, that support this channel and help us to be able to make this kind of news possible through y'all's crowdfunding. Nobody has to support the channel, but the folks who go for to support it make this entire thing a reality for the millions of people who watch the Enforcer channel every single month. And I got to say, humongous thanks to you, Bobby, for that incredible support and being here with us tonight and supporting the channel, and everybody else who's been here over the course of years, supporting this channel and enjoying it, and helping this thing to be possible not only for us to run, but for millions to watch and enjoy every single month. So a humongous thanks to you so much once again. I hope that has addressed that incredibly well. And with that, we're on to the next one.
And our next one here is going to go to none other than Truck and Shell.
I want to go and get $1 million.
And thank you very much, Truck and Shell. We do appreciate that very, very much. And a Truck and Shell coming in, Enforcers, I am absolutely enthralled about the entire situation. And I am not even sure what to say. The Red Sea blocked, the Strait blocked, really.
With all the stuff I'm talking about,
this will mess up the entire global economy and say to the House, Senate, and people that we have to go.
So now we're putting it back together.
And I would say huge thanks to you support Truck and Chev, and I would generally agree that it's necessary at this point that we continue the war to a successful conclusion, because this isn't really a war that we just pack up and walk away from. We're in a very bad position.
You want to buy a publicly traded company?
And if we pack up and walk away,
you want to speak to somebody about it? Go in there.
Defeat sort of a situation that we're in right now becomes solidified in stone, and that becomes the situation in the Middle East for the rest of history for the most part, which is something that we generally cannot afford in the United States of America if we want to remain the dominant global superpower. We will start to lose a significant amount of pull and also abilities within the entirety of the globe if we lose our sphere of influence inside the States. The thing is, however, is that everyone has to understand that the Congress does have a reason for generally their hesitancy, and that's that they're not being informed. A democracy or a federal republic, which is what the United States is specifically, which is a form of democracy, largely requires free flow of information from multiple branches, from the executive to the Congress, for them to be able to know exactly what they're going to be doing, what they're doing right now, and what the plans and future is.
I just found out today we have contracts.
The United States requires cooperation to be able to function.
All their stores.
And right now, there isn't really a lot of cooperation on the part of the executive branch with any other branch of government to be able to see that any of their strategic objectives or aims are understood and then supported by the general stores. And I would say that that's the problem right now. If the executive branch would actually spend the time to treat other people in this country, especially the elected representatives of all the people watching this channel right now, as equals, and actually apprise them, brief them, and inform them on the current situation and why they believe that that a
So
course of
hop
action
in,
of
get
continued
yourself
conflict
started.
would be proved
Get
to
yourself
see a
started.
successful
Go in there.
conclusion of the war.
There's many
We would
ways
probably see that a
for you
lot of
to
them
get
would change
this
their
done.
minds.
So you go
because
and ask
they
them,
wouldn't
call
want to
them
sit
and
there and
say,
say that they
how can
voted
I
to
get
limit
this
the
done?
actions of the president and then lead to a U.S. defeat, because they would
How
now
do I
be
get
fully
this done?
apprised and understanding the situation
Okay.
that's involved. On the other hand,
there's
however,
many
we
ways
have to
to
understand,
get it
folks,
done.
there's a lot of politics
got
in
your
play
good
in this
credit, your bad
situation
credit,
on a mechanical level. So let me explain why there would be
Ask
hesitancy.
them, say, I want to
If they
get this done.
approve
I'm
a
ready to go.
continuation of the conflict, not really
All right.
knowing anything about
We're
it
gonna
in
go over
detail,
question and answers.
it ends up in a defeat,
I
a
know the
blistering
phones are
defeat for the
blowing
United
up.
States
You guys
somehow,
wanna help,
that
wanna
ends
help.
up
So
becoming
if they don't answer
very
you right
scarring to their
right
political
now, they will
careers.
call
And
you
regardless
back,
of how much
okay? So let's go over the question and
polarization
answers.
exists
The
in
number
this
is
country, they could be voted out of their seats in the Senate or the
People will
House
answer your
if they
calls
vote to
now.
continue the
If
war
not,
and they
will
have
call you
absolutely
right back.
no idea
All right?
how it's
And
going.
you tell them,
If they
include
vote
all
to
the
end
things
the
that I
war
said.
or to limit the actions of the president and
want you to
largely
get-
announce a
I want you
withdrawal
to
of
get
U.S.
going.
forces from the
All
region.
right, let's go over the
if it goes
question and
badly from
answers.
there, at least they could argue from their political
Let's
stance.
go to
Well, the
question and
president didn't really
answers.
inform us anything about what was going on.
Mr. Rayhead, we have someone that wants to speak.
Or not. And generally,
Okay.
you can't
Good
take
morning, are you there?
at face value. So really, the blame's all on him, and they get to shift the blame to the executive branch. If they approve the war and it goes badly from here, and they have absolutely no idea how it's going, the entire
Rochelle,
blame
can
lands
you-
on them, and that's why right now there's a
Yeah, I'm open the mic.
huge issue in the Senate about whether they can
Okay.
continue the war or not, or whether
I'm
they
here.
vote to, because they don't know if that's going to be
Hey, Mr.
basically
Whitehead, how are
ending
you?
their political careers
how are you?
if they voted for that with a little information
doing
that they have.
well.
So
I
that's
just
why we're
called
seeing
to
there's
thank
that issue
you
right
because
now
I
in
got my
Congress,
seed
and that's
money.
why cooperation
And
and
I was able to
communication
purchase
amongst
my
the
Ace Corporation. I'm
is
really excited
important.
about
Not
it.
only that, it's the Congress. The
you know,
Congress is the
to
elected
learn
representation
one
and the will of the
level.
people
I work
personified
with
in
Bobby.
elected representatives.
I
It's
think
not the
Bobby
office
is
of
one,
the president.
they
The
call him
office
the
of the
money
president is
man.
there, and the executive branch is there.
But
Follow through
yeah, he was
over the
able to,
laws and acts
well, I
of the
started
union,
off
which are
with you
passed
guys,
in Congress.
working with
The
my
executive branch really
credit.
isn't there to be
And
the
working with my credit, I had
single
like 9
arbiter
days they
of
were able to
justice,
get that
the
off
law, and everything
my
else.
credit looks
So
awesome.
it's important
Now,
for there
I'm
to
really
be some
proud.
joint communications,
I know you guys
especially
are
on the
not
part of the executive to
BSing
the
about
Congress
your
about
game.
what's going on
So
and
I'm
what their
in it to
vision
win
is
it.
and where they
I
think this
was
should be
able
going.
to
So
purchase
I
trade
hope that this
lines
addresses the best
for
I
my
can, giving these things to your support,
personal
and not showing
credit
people are running trucks.
to help
Because
me
if it
to
wasn't
get
for
my
folks like
seed
you,
money.
we wouldn't be able to keep this thing running and make this thing possible.
Yeah, so I mean,
And also, we
I
wouldn't be
just
able to
been
talk
having a
about
lot of
important things like making sure that the government
experiences
continues
with
to
you guys, and I
cooperate with
just
each
wanted
other.
to get
And we don't see
online
that one
and
branch attempts
encourage
to run the
people
country
who
as a
want to live on
singular
the private
presidential
side. Like,
republic, or what I would
I
start to
can
describe or say
I
is
can
akin
see
to
the
an attempted
possibilities. And just
dictatorship by
encourage
leaving so many
anybody,
elements of the government in the dark
that
to
was
where they
out
don't
there
really know
having
what's going on
second
and they really
thoughts.
can't conduct
So,
their jobs
just go ahead and make that
other than
leap.
that,
Because really,
it does address it the best I can.
it's
And
worth
I
it.
see some people
It's
saying
really
in the
worth
chat
it.
really
And
quickly
now I'm
before we move
preparing
on,
for
that they
funding.
don't like the Congress and
So,
whatnot. Here's the
I
problem,
got my
folks. If you're an
EIN
American,
number.
you
They just
believe
really
in
been
the
working with
Constitution
me.
and you're supposed to support the Constitution. The
the
Constitution
team
is
is
what
really
made the
cool.
United States into what it
I
is
was a little
today. There is really
concerned
no
at
yes,
first
answer,
because
but
I was
about
kind of,
communication,
not trying to feel my way,
that is
but
supposed to be expected as
once
a
I
part
got
of
in
our
there
functioning
and I started
democracy and
following
our
the
functioning
steps,
federal
it was
republic.
pretty
If you don't
simple.
like a senator or a representative,
I did
that's
make a
your
mistake,
problem.
though.
That's the problem. That's
Go back and do
actually
that.
more so not really y'all's problem.
Which,
That's more so the problem with the constituents
taught
that
me a
voted in
lesson
that
about
person.
stopping
You only have the control
and making
of
sure
one representative
that I'm
and
following
one
the
senator
things
that
step
you
by
cast your
step by
vote for
step. If
in
I
the
want to do this
however
the
you
proper
the
way to,
Congress is
to
structured,
get
whether you
that
like
big
those
money is where I'm
representatives
trying to
or
go.
not, that is the elected
Is where
body
I'm
of
trying to get.
representatives of the US
But I
public.
just wanted
And
to
they have
share
the
with
constitutional
those
authority
out
to
there
be
that was,
notified and apprised of
on
the
the
developments
fence
of the
about
United States
getting
so
in
that
the
they can vote
program. It
properly
really
as
works.
the will
You
of the
just have to
republic
be
on what the
patient
United States is
and
going to be doing
understand that
next.
you're not
There
the
isn't really a
only
question to
person
that,
in the
and I would generally say
program.
that if you do not
And
understand
pretty
that
much,
concept, you hardly even
if
understand what
anything
it is to
goes
be an
wrong,
American. That
all
is
you
one
got
of
to
the
do is say,
key
Mr. Whitehead or Miss
cornerstone
Lolita, and you
elements
better
of this
believe it's going
U.S.
to get popping
federal
around.
republic that was founded by
The
our
job is
founding
gonna
fathers
get done. So
250
I really
years ago.
appreciate,
And we have stuck to this day.
I really appreciate
Meaning
you
that
on the
is a
follow through,
cornerstone
you know, and
government
thank you for helping us, those of us that want to be helped.
We are on
And,
to the last
people out
question of
there
the
that
segment.
just don't want to be helped.
On into the
You know what I mean?
news for
They
the
say
night.
they do, but they don't want
All
to
right,
take
so this one goes
the
to none
action
other
that
than Rick.
indeed it is
Rick is all the way
the
from
tortoise
Canada.
that gets the reward. You know, it's not the rabbit, it's the tortoise, because it does take steps to get to where you're taking me to, and I can see it clearly now that I'm here in it. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to learn something that we can teach our children, and that our children can take forth and, you know, just recognize and generation wealth, and that it was our time to start paying attention to that, you know, before we get left
for the
behind.
British Columbian Mountains, for the Mounties, for the beavers that they have, which are their national animal, for the maple leaf, for maple syrup. We love the Canadians for a lot of things. The Canadians are a brotherly nation, not to use a Russian term there. I would say that if any country is a brother or sister nation in the United States, it is Canada. They're very similar in their culture, their dialects, and many other things that make us common brothers, common friends in the modern day global world that we live in now. And I got to say that folks like you, Rick, who support this channel and help us to keep this thing running, help us to ensure that we can continue to be a voice on YouTube in support of American and Western interests, including yours, around the globe. And I got to thank you so much for that incredible support and help this channel keep running.
Yes, sir.
If it wasn't for folks like you,
and I do have my executive summary, and I'm following all the steps that I'm learning each time I get on here. Sometimes I don't say anything, I just sit and absorb, you know, but it comes back to me on a daily basis, and when I'm taking these notes, I'm like, wow, you did this, you did that, like, ooh, okay, sit back, you know. And then I met another girl in the program, and she's going through it, you know, she was kind of a little shaky on it, and I was just like, you know, we just gotta follow steps, it's working. So we kind of encourage each other, you know. We actually just we met at your event in Houston, and then we got together since then to try to see how we can work our business together to, you know, actually move forward, you know, get a partnership, like you said, you know, helping one another and stuff. So I appreciate you for what you're doing, you know, and I thank God that you woke up this morning. Yeah, you guys, you and your team be blessed, and yeah, I'm gonna call it a night.
East of Sengio later the same morning. Taiwanese Coast Guard vessels warned the Chinese ships that they had no jurisdiction in Taiwan's exclusive economic zone, and told the merchant vessel to maintain normal navigation and ignore the Chinese broadcast. That was according to Joseph Wu, the Secretary General of Taiwan's National Security Council.
Community. Did they probably be in 2 weeks.
China Coast Guard, this is Taiwan WANA. You don't belong. You got me. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, they might have.
Just learning.
Man, I wish we had that video available. Do we have it super available? Like, I would love to see that video again. I love the zeal that Taiwanese have about telling the Chinese ships to get them. Oh, we have it. We have it. Let's hear it.
The week that manages 10,000, over 10,000 single-family and commercial properties. Imagine that. That's a monster. All right, so we have a lot of people don't know what they want to do with the money.
I love it, man. I can hear that all day. If you put down the loop, I can listen to that all day long. I just love it. It's like music to my ears. China Coast Guard, you go!
You know, honestly, that was a good one, but one that we never showed on air, folks, because it was just a radio broadcast, was a showdown between a Taiwanese Mirage and a Chinese J-11. Have you heard that one before?
That's going to be available to you in the community.
I think I
might. We're going to have a specialist.
Like, you know, it's like where it was the ROC pilot. He was saying, shame on you, shame on you.
Possibly
you disgraceful little worm fighting and supporting a dictatorship. How do you like Xi Jinping's food? How does it taste? And like the Chinese pilot was running, F you, man, kiss my ass. Like the Taiwanese pilot was saying, look at you, you're angry because you don't have any counter to that. You know that's true. And they were like going off on each other up on the air. It was a funny thing. I wish I could show that.
The government is the biggest.
I like the one where I think it was I don't know if it was a U.S. warplane or like a ship going by or something like that.
The government is the biggest spender. So one of my mentees, for instance, they went in and they got a government contract.
No, that was the Chinese. That was the Chinese who did that. They were like, this is Chinese Shah of God, you go! And then like he was said, I'm operating in international airspace in accordance with international law. And the Chinese went,
they went
just like left the radio call with that. It was very weird.
And they went in and got a government contract.
It was the U.S. doing it the whole time.
Apparently
it was the Chinese doing it. I guess they had that
move the furniture from one.
But Taiwan did shout another way today. Now the words but with orange. We didn't get to see the Taiwan's 58th command conducted a live fire heavy artillery drill near to the
$80,000
Daijian estuary in Taichung,
which is
generally down in the southeastern area of the country.
from one federal building to another one.
Western area of the country.
And they paid
near to
them
the Strait of
$80,000,
Taiwan.
and they kept
Integrating the 58th Artillery Command, the 234th Combined Arms Brigade, and the 586th Combined Arms Brigade. The exercise simulated
I had
a
another one. You probably
amphibious landing
saw
attempt in
us
central
on,
Taiwan with the Republic of China Army units conducting layered fires against enemy forces approaching Aishatun and
down in the ranch.
Systems used included the Thunderbolt 2000 thermal arrest provided by the Republic of Korea, the M19E2
San Diego. They said, Mr. Whitehead, we're not far from you. We're in town. I said, well, come on by. Let's go have dinner.
Including
We went to have
the
dinner.
120mm mortars,
Shooting on the
155
ranch.
millimeter howitzers,
They went down.
the
They showed me the contract.
and TOTU
They got a contract with the military in Oceanside
also provided by the United
for
States.
$5 million contract. And what are they doing? They're just taking down
for the first time
notes
in 7 years.
of what the military needs.
Of one of those Thunderbolt 2000s,
Camp Pendleton.
Rest barrage on a simulated
on
target.
our web.
We can also see
They are
a picture
on
here of some
YouTube,
M19E2s
You can look
firing
and see
their shells as well. And crazy enough, in this
They're
picture,
down there
you can actually see
visiting.
that they call
And
it
so,
some of the shells
you need to
actually
get some of these
launched out of the
government
barrel
contracts.
in the
So
skill
go in,
information
sign up with the
support here,
government.
which is a pretty unique sort of
They
thing.
call that,
In this third picture, we can also see the simulated fire drills
sign up
by
with
the TOTU-A and TOTU-B anti-tank guided units as well,
And you go in and
which
get
are
a
for
cage
anti-tank
code,
defense.
which allows
And we
you to
also
get
get to see in this
we're going to have
picture here
somebody,
the simulated targets
specialist,
getting
come in
down range
explain
into the area
that
of
to
the
me in our
beaches
community.
just outside of Taichung.
So look
in this period, the Taiwanese are conducting live fire drills as a response to the Chinese aggression and low-level conversion efforts that are now being continued around Taiwanese waters. Once again, shows that our armed forces already stated combat readiness, admiral building, and capable of repelling a possible Chinese assault or attempted amphibious landing on the island of Taiwan, which is largely a last-case resort for the Taiwanese. The Taiwanese are largely going to be attempting to defeat the Republic of China, well, actually, the People's Republic of China,
taking our light
in the
bulbs
air
and putting
and on
in
the
new ones.
seas surrounding the island before they ever even attempt to make a
So
land.
they hired
Moving us
somebody
out of Taiwan and East Asia in general, it's
They
now
paid
time
them
for us to get on into
$175
what is
all
going to be
10
one of the
buildings.
largest news segments that we have covered on
And they
the
kept
in
the
a month.
75,000,
Over the
and that was
past 2
done
days,
in a month.
which we have not really been able to cover.
75,000 in a month.
We haven't even been
no
able to
work.
cover up until
so
right
you
now
go out,
today.
you
The
find
Ukrainians
the
have been
contract,
going
you
all.
find the people.
There is no other way to describe it than that.
Maybe
They
it's
have been
government
hitting targets
landscaping.
of
You find the people in
unbelievable
landscaping,
variety, and
get
we've
the
also
contract, say
seen
how
that
much you
there
want to do this.
accumulated
I
damage
want
from their attacks on the
75,000
southern
to do all
front.
these roads and
Ukraine
stuff.
have also
Okay.
caused an irreparable situation.
Well, my contract is
with Russian forces,
175.
and they're
I'll pay
now
you
conducting a
75.
retreat out of
So
the area.
the
Before we
government
even get into
pays you
anything else, we are
in
going to
30
focus solely
days,
on the
so you
southern
gotta
front
have
today,
the money
because the
to do the
situation now
contract
appears to already be entering
and then
a
wait for
critical
your
phase.
pay to come in
And we
from the
can't,
government.
we can't say
So that's
that
why
the
you
analysis
have
here is
$100,000
inaccurate because
you have
this was
$200,000.
analyzed
You know
and
how easy it is to get
back a
$100,000.
couple, well, actually
But
a couple
nobody
days ago,
knows what
about
to
a week
do
ago
with
at this
the
point,
money.
as to who was going to be retreating first.
I say
and it was dead
start getting
money.
yourself some government
Many of
contracts
y'all
and
will know,
also
just to recap
real
the
estate.
supply situation within this area, that
You
the
don't have
Russian
real estate,
Federation supply apparatus
not
and supply
in a wealthy
career
person.
lines for
Every
the civilians
wealthy
and the
person
military have
has
completely collapsed through
real
the
estate.
occupied areas
As
of
Louis
the
said,
Zaporizhia,
real
Kherson,
estate.
and Crimean oblasts. As a result
right,
of this,
so,
a large amount of fuel is now unavailable within
we're
the
gonna have a
area.
bunch of
Fuel
good
sales have been
things. Go
completely
get your
halted in
corporation, get
Crimea,
yourself
and we're now
started.
seeing that the
It's
fuel
easy to go
situation is
and
now
get,
reaching into the rest of the area, which is leading to a complete supply collapse, which is now
started,
leading to a domino effect
build it,
where
start
other
building
supply
it,
lines
building
are
it,
also
building it,
collapsing because they
and keep
cannot
going.
operate. This includes ammunition, supplies,
So look out for our community. And I think
clothes,
next
and everything else.
Thursday,
This has
we
led
may
to a
bring the
situation that we
guest on,
believe will be
talk
leading
about
either to
government
Russian
contracts,
retreats
all
or a
right?
complete
So
Russian
look
front
forward to that
collapse
Thursday.
in the next
And
several
also
months,
remember
most likely by the
to be
fall.
out there with,
We are seeing that a frontline collapse is
Tyrese
already
Gibson
happening
and,
today at the most farthest periphery of Kherson, which many of y'all will remember on the show would be one of the first
and
places
Jay
to
Leno,
fall
the
because
Tonight
it is
Show,
quite truly
and
the
myself,
farthest away
and
from any
who else is
beginning
going to
or
be out there?
opening
I
of
think
supply
Salt
line
and
that would
Pepper,
enter the southern front.
Spinderella,
Meaning
Salt
that
and
this
Pepper's
one
gonna be out
area
there.
here called
Benzino,
Kinder
all
Smith
a lot of
is the farthest away from the active supply lines, meaning that any sort of supply
Let's go to the
line
first question.
deficiencies would start to hit these areas furthest west first,
lady
which would
first.
also give us an idea of the pulse of the supply condition for the rest of the region
Capitalist.
immediately
Well, that's
before we get any other indicators. Over the course of the
see.
past 48 hours, we have been able to confirm
Ladies.
the following
Simona.
information from
Skies.
ATAC, which is a Ukrainian partisan group, which has been able to report this information to us from the rear line area. And we've also been able to confirm through other sources as well. And here is what ATAC has stated. Russian armed forces are leaving the Kinder Spit in the Mykolaiv Oblast. An ATAC agent from the headquarters of the deeper group of forces reports that actions to cut supply routes have forced the occupiers to hastily evacuate Kenbury. Units of 337th Regiment are abandoning their positions as supply have been completely disrupted, and the delivery of ammunition has completely ceased to this area.
This is Simone. My question to you is on average, if a person is, and I know I guess I'm answering my own question in case-by-case basis, but a person that's building themselves up, just for instance,
punishment has not been carried out.
I want to build myself up to $500,000, and I'm starting off now with my age corporation and everything that you guys have set up. So when I'm getting my first $100,000,
and see positions being evacuated,
am I also,
considering that
I have 5 other bank accounts that I'm going to be switching that to for that same corporation, or each corporation has one individual account. Did that make sense, or I said too much?
Each one of those little icons, the diamond-shaped icons with the X mark through them, is what would be generally a motorized regiment of the Russian armed forces. As many of y'all will know, there is only one motorized rifle regiment near to the area. Kenburn Spit, as far as the current force disposition, has largely been completely abandoned, save for maybe a few company-sized elements that are now still holding the area.
Yes, sir.
The reason
it makes sense. So I'm getting these credit cards, am I getting these credit cards like that? $50 50K intervals, 25K intervals, or just one card for 100K? And is it a card that you can use as cash, or is it a card that you're using to like a merchant account?
That it no longer makes sense to hold the position. The position is so exposed to enemy forces that they are not able to hold it without a threat of encirclement, or they are not able to supply properly, and the army will starve or die if they remain in position, meaning that a retreat or a withdrawal is necessary for the remnants of the force that will survive to be able to stay intact and fight another day. And apparently, from what we're seeing now, the 337th Regiment of the Russian Armed Forces is now deemed the position to be a strategically untenable position due to the supply line situation.
Okay, so it would be a different department from Bobby then. It would be a whole different department.
It's quite big, but it is going to be big as far as frontline changes.
Okay,
the Ukrainians
I'm tracking.
have to wait.
Okay, thank you.
Larger attacking forces breaking through in this area and then advancing into the largest Russian airlines. That would largely be something to fix.
Hey, Mr. Whitehead, this is the first time I've been
Russians are running out of supplies.
on your webinar is what I'll call it. And I was invited by a friend of mine, and it's really worth my time. I just wanted to say that.
Because they're
and I appreciate what you're trying to bring back, and share with the community. It's really awesome. It's really, and I'll get to the point because I know time's flowing.
This is also giving us an understanding that this will start to affect the other areas of the front in the Kherson, Zaporizhia, and Crimea regions here within the near future. If that unit has already run out of food, ammunition, and other supplies, it is going to
call with one of your advisors. They're going to talk to you. I'm a distributor for American Medical Exam NICEL Blood Company. They're the largest in the United States. I have 45-day terms with them. And so I'm seeking big buyers in the millions of cases.
Supply critical at this point. And if they do not get supplies anytime here within the near future, which does not appear to be likely, we will most likely see that there is a complete Russian frontline collapse in this area.
Ship the product to them in millions of cases, basically a residual business because gloves are disposable. So they use the gloves and they reorder, and it's just on and on and on. That's number one. I have an opportunity to buy 2 pieces of property, and I need $500,000 to be able to do that, to build 60 apartment complexes, 60 units, and then 21 units. But I need $500,000 to do it, so I'm hopeful that maybe I can buy.
We just scam black women here. We don't partner.
It would give me about $1.4 million a year in residual income.
What do you think?
And then
all right, so this is a big deal. It's not like a monumental amount of troops that have been retreating.
Okay, so number one, how do I, with being a distributor and I can sell millions of cases of nitro blood, how do I find large clients to purchase? That's one question.
So that's why it's a big deal.
The other question is, how do I get $500,000 so I can purchase purchase the
from
land
Mykolaiv
so I can
area
build these
and
apartment
retreating toward
complexes.
Crimea in a pretty large retreat, actually. What do you think about that? 42% said this will become full-scale very soon for the Russian forces in the entire area, while 26% said it's simply only a limited retreat, and 25% said it seems like a bad sign, but really can't tell much beyond that.
Okay, so
And
take
I
his
am
number down and send him to
42%. This is a sign of things to come without a doubt.
Yes, my number is
at all is a very bad sign. And we know the reason why it's happening is because we're just completely collapsing for the
I'll put it in there now.
So that's why it's taking place. So there's no reason whatsoever that if these troops are retreating, that makes the other ones should retreat. Because they're not getting forces or supplies either for the most part. So I'm with the 42%. It will become full scale soon.
Two opportunities. I know the owners of the land, and if I have 500,000, I can actually work with a local finance company that will help me secure the rest of the funding. They also have the builder for it, and it's really like a turnkey project. I just have to come up with my end, which is the seed money, and then I can.
But Enforcer, what say you?
So to give you all a little bit of a hypothetical scenario here, I'm actually going to copy this map really quickly.
I did, and I was answering an email. He's talking about he has a building that he wants to acquire and he needs seed money. That's what I heard.
In an illustrated form to be able to show us a little bit more
what it is,
what a supply loss can lead
I
to.
need my side, which is about 500,000, to buy 2 pieces of land. One I can build 60 apartments on, and one I can build 21 apartments on. And then if I have my 500,000, I have a local finance company that finance the construction, and I have the person that builds apartment complexes. I could really get started, and I could create a business that gives me about $1.4 million a year in residual income.
And then we're going to take the lithium iron.
Okay, so this is all tentatively just verbal communication. So you've had these.
No, I've actually I've talked to the lenders, and they said if I have my 500,000, they'll fund the construction of a 60-unit apartment complex and a 21-unit apartment complex on 2 different pieces of land because I've negotiated with the owners who own them.
So they're going to carry it in essence.
Yes, and see, the difficult part for me is this would be a new business venture. It's income producing, so it's good for the person I'm going to get to finance the other part of it. I just have to have my 500,000 to be able to secure the properties and then be able to get them built. So I was very interested in what Mr. Whitehead was talking about, how you can get a CPC company and then you can actually get into that 500,000 range. I don't need $1 million. I need about 500,000.
If the Ukrainian forces use one of their motorized,
I mean, I would have to just, I don't know where the properties are. I mean, just on a conversation, I'd have to dig a little bit more and get some more information from you. We have something called the Deal Depot where it asks you all the questions about the property, what you're trying to do, and then we help you structure it to see how we can help economic mainstream and the Deal Depot admins, right? And with our experience and all that, we even asked Mr. Whitehead some questions so we get some of his insights, and then we kind of give you an overview if that's something you're interested in. But I need more information. I have a lot of questions.
Brigade,
and
I would love, and I appreciate what you're sharing with me. I would love to set that up where we can talk in more detail. Because if I can provide you all of the information
by superior firepower, which in this position or this condition they would be able to, because the Russians are going to run out of ammunition before the Ukrainians ever do, or the Ukrainians would have to find another unit to be able to outmaneuver the Russians. And in that situation, they could take another mechanized brigade, move it around the flank, and move this motorized brigade to hold off the other 2 brigades. The other 2 brigades are no longer in a condition to be able to even conduct an offensive, considering that this front is weak. They don't have the ability to maneuver because they don't have any fuel to move on with their transport trucks, and they also don't have the ammunition to conduct an offensive either, meaning they're stuck entirely on the defensive. This 2nd Mechanized Brigade is now able to move around, encircle this tank regiment, and completely destroy it. removing it from the scenario. That means that the Ukrainians have now conducted, in this sense, what would be a absolute breakthrough, and are now entrapping the Russian regiments on the front in position. The Russians do not have the fuel to be able to outmaneuver the envelopment, and they also do not have the firepower to even handle a long-term defensive, meaning that they have two scenarios. They can either face absolute destruction at the base of superior Ukrainian firepower in that scenario, or they can surrender. Whichever option they take, these regiments are completely out of the fight at this point, and these Ukrainian mechanized brigades are able to start advancing largely through unopposed territory, deeper into supply nodes and other critical functions in the rear line area, which can completely immobilize and absolutely destroy this entire Russian front if that became a reality. And with the current supply situation right now in Zaporizhia especially, that could start to happen. No matter how many Russian regiments there are in the front, if they cannot maneuver and they cannot fire because they're out of fuel and ammunition, they're generally out of the fight, and the Ukrainians will be able to break through, envelop, and also push about as far as they want to if the situation became absolutely desperate. And seeing that the Russians are not fixing the supply situation in this area, the supply situation will become desperate. It already is in a very endangered, or I guess you could say perilous sort of a scenario, and considering that it's not being fixed and there is no way to fix it, they will enter an inevitable scenario where there could be a frontline collapse of that type. I hope that kind of illustrated all of y'all using the NATO map, which we hardly ever get to use, how that would actually unfold in actual combat, and how that sort of a flank breakthrough and then envelopment would occur, which would definitely be possible considering that the enemy forces, the Russians, are now completely lost in terms of supplies. But moving us on out of that in the Kherson, in the Kinburn Spit area of the Oblast of Kherson, we've also been able to that the Ukrainians have largely almost completely isolated Crimea today, effectively, from their supply lines via the land bridge, the very little supplies that were coming in. The Ukrainians have destroyed and knocked out the Chonhar Bridge. This little picture here is one of the few that we have of the damage to the bridge, but the Russian authorities, the occupational authorities, announced earlier today that they had completely closed the Chonhar Bridge due to the major damage that it had suffered from Ukrainian attacks. That is the only bridge in the Crimea from the E-105 highway to Melitopol that the Russians have been able to ferry supplies into Crimea with, meaning that right now the Russian Federation only has one other usable supply route, which is the Kerch Strait, generally by ferry or by bridge. That's the only one they have left. If they want to get any supplies into Crimea, they're going to have to either drive the trucks over the Kerch Bridge, or they're going to have to run a train over the railroad bridge in the Kerch Strait, or they're going to have to use the very limited availability they have by the few ferries they have left to be able to move trucks or rail cars across the strait into Crimea to get any kind of supplies in. And so far we've seen that the Russians haven't conducted that sort of an action. That also means that the Crimean Peninsula is also in a very perilous, but it might actually be in a perilous position right now, as opposed to the Kherson's dangerous position that they're in. And we might see that there is an absolute supply collapse and a complete collapse of any sort of governmental or occupational order by the Russian Federation within the Crimean Oblast due to the significant supply constraints that we're seeing right now because of the closure or largely the complete isolation of the Crimean Peninsula from any other operational supply routes. We've also been able to see that within Simferopol, it appears that the Ukrainians, well, not the Ukrainians, but the Russians inside of the Crimean Oblast are continuing to try and bootleg fuel and to sell entire cans of gasoline out of the trunks of their cars. This is how bad the supply line situation is getting, that we're seeing a black market here for available gasoline wherever people can find it right now.
Are you sure? I thought these were alleged to be the Russian troops trying to put them in the back of civilian vehicles so they could try to sneak it through, so that way Ukraine wouldn't hit it. Because generally speaking, Ukraine doesn't really hit civilian-looking vehicles. They try to just hit the ones that look like they're carrying commercial fuel, like for the Russian forces. So I thought that's what they were doing.
Actually, yeah, you are right. I misread the title there. It actually is Russian forces loading up the fuel into the boots of these cars, or the trunks as we call them here in America, to be able to try and avoid the Ukrainians hitting them. So a correction on that, folks. I actually just got the caption on that one incorrect.
Yeah, I think it's what they're up to right there. I'm not sure if it's working or not, but I think the Ukrainians are going to pick up on this, and I would imagine. Also, by the way, I think the Russians even stopped civilian traffic down the highway in occupied Ukrainian territory. I think they stopped it the last time.
They suspended all transport of civilian in nature on highways, so really of any civilian vehicles. By that announcement, they are able military vehicles and select them with really no regard or additional research on whether it is a civilian or military vehicle, because it'll be assumed military if it's moving down the highway.
Also, what are the odds of those things? They'll probably have it all in the trunk of the car and they'll probably catch on fire.
Yeah, you know, I wonder if we're going to see a video like that coming out here in the future. I have a feeling we might, but it is showing us that the Russians are getting absolutely desperate at this point. In the meantime, we also get to see, speaking of some Black Sea news, that the Ukrainians head near to the coastline of Odessa. We saw that in this clip right here. And there it goes down into the water, breaking up on impact. Moving on from that clip, we also get to see as well another clip that showed us the Ukrainians actually striking an unknown Russian warship near to the Kerch Strait area. We don't know what vessel this was even, but it was a Russian patrol vessel that was hit heavily by Ukrainian drones and completely destroyed. We see the first drone coming in and hitting the patrol boat. And then we can see another clip here showing us the remains of the patrol boat, the superstructure and bow that is now literally erupting with flames. So there's now fire leaking out of the side plating of the hull. So it's showing us that even the inner depths of the hull are on fire. And then we got to see the second impact up there. Moving us on from these clips, we also were able to see, speaking of large Ukrainian attacks within the areas of the Russian Federation, that the Ukrainians did conduct another attack on Grushavaya Balka within Novorossiysk, with the fire once again being seen visible over the mountainsides, segregating Novorossiysk from Grushavaya Balka. This doesn't appear to be as large a fire as the last one, but it does show us that they are still hitting oil tanks and facilities throughout the area of Novorossiysk and the oil port. We've also been able to see that within the city of Krasnodar, there are now fuel shortages showing up within this area as well, which we're able to see in this clip.
These horns should not.
We see here that there is literally no fuel available.
Donnie and children in the map. I'm gonna keep this to like, they're trying to make a little mini wall down there. Although he comes out of the concert was a unique opportunity to get to go with Stephen City alone, but I got a great schedule for your full day and you know, what else could stay alone. You know, get back and put bits like everything.
There's like F-35s racing around outside. Like right now, I'm not sure what's going on outside. There's like a whole bunch of F-35s that was racing around. They might be gone now, but I'm seeing pictures and videos coming out on Twitter of the Salt Lake City area apparently being buzzed by fighter jets all over the place.
Man, I was hearing them while I was prepping for the show, and I was getting so annoyed with it, honestly. I was like, damn. Like, it was so loud, folks. It was literally shaking windows in my place. I was like, damn, could they like do this at another time? Like, you know, like before the show? Like, I was like, could they do it before I'm having to do my show prep? Because they were doing it the whole time. Like, I would just hear this loud, like, thunderous roar overhead, and the windows, the walls would be shaking. I mean, they were insanely loud. Actually,
there was also pictures of like a weather balloon or something like that floating around like near the jets. I'm not sure if it was just it was probably just an exercise. Although I will admit they were pretty loud, like unusually loud. So I'm not sure if they were going around trying to check out the weather balloon that was floating around or whatever that balloon was that was out there or what they were doing.
It's pretty interesting. In the meantime, we also got to see the fire that was caused in Krasnodar in apparently one of the houses hit by friendly fire. Here it is. Moving us on from that clip, we also were able to see additionally that there was an unfortunate incident that occurred within the Dagestan Oblast, where it appears that a fuel pipeline has unfortunately suffered a spontaneous combustion. We saw this right here.
That is unfortunate right there. It looks like Dagestan has turned into hell.
Well, at least they got a cloud overhead. There's a silver lining to every cloud, as they say. We also got another look at this.
I wonder if the G-Wagon gang knows how to put a fire out.
You know, I'm not thinking so, because this was the beginning of the fire right here. This was like right after the strike. And this also shows when the fire blossomed into a sort of mature adult form. Here's the clip. Watch it blossom.
Links that have those craziest audiences in the world.
I don't think they can control that. I think that's just beyond any firefighting capabilities, really.
Also, by the way, for everybody, This was simply, they're alleging it was bad maintenance on the gas line. That's what they were alleging caused this situation right here, which is possible, by the way, in Dagestan. But it was not an attack from what we can gather.
I actually heard, folks, that we were able to reach out to the Dagestani construction crew that built this pipeline a couple of years ago, and we were actually able to see some of the materials that they used to construct the pipeline. Apparently, they used some form of office paper to be able to build the pipeline out of, which generally they said at the time might have a somewhat longer surviving period. It appears that, unfortunately, their calculations were incorrect, and it appears that office paper is not really useful to construct and operate a pipeline out of. So that appears to be the reason why we saw this unbelievable conflagration within the area of the Dagestan Oblast over the course of the day. But let's watch the rest of the clips that we have, because this was filmed quite a lot from the Dagestanis. Moving us on from that clip, which sounded like rocket launching, we also got to see another clip showing us the fire.
That's bad. That's kind of near some houses a little bit. Careful going outside, kids. It's hot.
Speaking of something hot, we got another development fresh off of the presses, hot off the presses actually, the ink is still warm, on the situation with this pipeline. Upon further investigation of the Dagestani construction group, which did build this pipeline, we have also been able to find out that the foreman apparently liked to smoke, but he didn't just smoke those normal tobacco cigarettes. This is apparently the instrument that they found within his office. Apparently showing us once again that generally, from what we can tell, the Dagestani construction crews were a little bit underpowered in the facilities and also underpowered in construction equipment as well. But we actually have some new footage coming out of some of the flamingo strikes that have been conducted against the Russian Federation. So Matthew, what we got?
Okay, so we have a video coming out right now. Sadly, I don't have a geolocation showing it right this second, but it looks like Ukraine firing flamingos into Russia. It looks like we have a video. I believe this is a flamingo, it looks like. Let's take a look at it and see if it is.
Information on the land,
Yeah, also one of me is that the
and also the person that I'm financing with,
for the jet
the
engine,
rest of
it's
it.
stubby,
That's already agreed
large, but also
to
the stubby
finance
things.
the other
Definitely
part
an
of it,
MP5
and he has the people to actually
Yeah, it
build
looks
it for
like
him.
it. Also, by the way, this is
well, I know Mr. Whitehead is probably going to be very interested because he definitely teaches that you should get properties owner carry. That's a great avenue. So people out there listening, that's a great way to get in. And if you have if you know how to put puzzle pieces together in the real estate world and connect people and have good relationships, like Mr. Whitehead always says, you can get these deals done. So it sounds interesting. I definitely want to help you out with it. So go ahead and put your info, and I'll put you on calendar.
At the bottom of this image.
Okay, I actually did, and then I don't want to take any more time, but I have one other question because Mr. Whitehead, he mentioned something where he's dealing with big box chains that like In-N-Out Burger and different Walmart, and these companies, they buy nitro gloves in large quantities in the millions of cases a year, and I'm a direct distributor for American nitro glove provider that gave me 45-day terms. So if, like I said, we partnered on Walmart and say they bought 1 million cases a year, I can provide those cases and I can share profits for the help that I get to be connected to a company of that size. And this is going to be residual business because they're buying them and selling them every month, every year. So this would be going on as long as the planet is spinning.
Yeah, and even Mr. Whitehead was talking about these contracts, government contracts.
There was also a significant.
I've had some experience with that, but I don't want to hog your time. I could give you some.
No, we'll talk. We'll get you on schedule.
Okay, yeah, because I'm an Air Force veteran. I served during the first Persian Gulf War, and so my first track was to try to sell nitro gloves to the government. But there's a lot involved in that kind of deals behind the table. You may even have the best price, but if they've already decided who they're buying it from, they put a bid out, you bid on it, but you don't really have a real shot at it. So what I'm trying to do is sell direct to corporations, private, that make their own decisions. And a lot of companies are buying American-made nitrile gloves now because of everything that's going on with the cost of fuel, China. So everybody's trying to buy American now. And I have direct American manufactured gloves. So I'd love to talk to you about both opportunities, and both of my opportunities are ready to go.
Give it a break. Give it a break, nigga.
For some real estate. So we've done a few classes on that. So we'll have to send you over those recordings. So yeah, just give your info to Michelle, or she has it, and I'll reach out to you.
No wonder they walk back in.
I just dropped it in the chat. My phone number is whenever it's convenient. I love to talk, and I appreciate y'all's time and the service y'all are doing.
It's actually hilarious looking, like how big this thing is and how slow it's moving. It's like a flying tank, basically.
Open it up where I can see everybody.
Yeah, honestly, man, that's like a very deceivingly strong thing. Like it's sliding through, like it's just kind of like, you know, like a minivan or something. But that thing's serious. That thing's like very serious with the warhead that thing carries on it.
Man, I wish I could find like that meme music like they use like when everything sliding through, like goes.
Well, how about Marcel Watson?
Like, bro, that's how it's like moving on through. It's like just really casual, like on its way to the liquor store. It's unreal. Look at it.
Marcel Watson.
Bro, that's insane.
How about
Comical the way things just like it's, you can tell it's heavy too, like by the way things like, you know, making that noise, and also kind of like slowly like falling through the air almost. Like, that thing's heavy.
That's unreal.
Yeah. Hello.
We got a clip that clear of this thing. That is insane. If you get any more clips,
Hey, Mr. White, how you doing?
they are going to be quiet if we can get them. But we also got to see in the St. Petersburg area, the 15th Naval Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, I always watch you all the time, but you know, I got a corporation with you now and stuff like that. So I definitely I like watching and stuff like that. Like, I appreciate it. So. But I was gonna ask, like, because like I've been like getting ready for like the funding and everything, and like my credit score like been good from what I was told. So I was just wondering, like, do you have like, is there a way I could work with like someone like you that can help me with the corporation directly? Because like I got like denied for a credit card with them, and they're like working on it now. Because I wasn't registered with the I wasn't registered or something with the state or something like that.
In the meantime, not to bring back an old cool classic, but it appears that the IRA from Ireland is back, but in Ukrainian form. Today we have heard that apparently a load of cars have exploded because they have bombs.
They were saying because it was based on like the registration, so like sometimes like I kind of need like, you know, like assistance with the corporation as well, you know.
Just today, and one of them appears to have actually been a high priority target, which we'll be getting on into very soon. But before we get on into that, we do have a lot of people right now talking about the current poll that we have
definitely like, you know,
on the Chunhar
want to take it to the next step and everything.
And what this is generally going to be causing for a supply situation within the Oblast. And Matthew, what are people thinking?
Right now I'm working with Robert and Amy, and like I call them, like sometimes they answer, but you know,
it is about that key.
They're working on certain things, but like I said, sometimes you need to know certain things for the corporation, you know, so it can be like organized.
What's Ukraine's main goal? And 61% said to isolate Crimea and drive Russia out. 49% said it's about destroying the Russian frontline logistics. And 5% said it's all about causing civil distress and unrest, making Russia uncomfortable to stay in Crimea. And I am actually with the 29%. What Ukraine's doing here is not aimed at the civilian population. So it's not really about, you know, driving the Russian civilians out of Crimea. That will be secondary. That'll come later on down the road. But this is all about destroying the Russian frontline logistics. Because if that bridge is destroyed, that means no Russian supply vehicles can cross from Crimea into the Ukrainian-occupied territory. And that means they can't cross over and give those supplies to Russian frontline soldiers. So that's why I say it's about frontline logistics. And it's really working. It's working to convert forces and starting to withdraw from that area. So obviously working. I'm sure the Russians are probably crapping their pants over that because they're already completely infected to help. Obviously, they're suffering so badly on the front. But Enforcer,
yeah, it's more like you said, information and all that. Like I said, tax info, like the ID and like information that was supposed to be like verified. But that's like that's just like stuff you do in the beginning. I know that too as well.
This appears to be a concentrated and coordinated Ukrainian drone and air campaign to destroy all of Russia's airline supply apparatus to force the Russian forces into either a retreat,
I got you.
surrender via an envelopment, or being destroyed by Ukrainian insurgents. Either way, the Ukrainians are already ensuring the Russians will be pulled out of the air.
If I have any more questions, I'll let you know. Like right now, I'll let you definitely know.
And destroying all of their supply lines.
And I appreciate it too.
Rendering them non-existent within most areas of the southern front. So I hope that is the best I can. And with that, we are going to be moving on to Moscow. Wonderful and insightful news of the Mars that have exploded.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
This on into the videos. We did get to see this first clip
Awesome.
of the
So I started watching back in February myself, well, for my son. My question is, he's 23 years old. He has some things on his credit. We got him off. So now his scores are up. And basically, I wanted to know before I booked the call.
I actually heard, Matthew, that there's a group
so the goal was to clean his personal credit so that he could get the seed money, so that he and I together could do the purchase of corporation.
And I got to tell you,
Is part of the program help with building? Because although his scores are high, what we're dealing with, we're going to take out a loan to pay for the corporation. But it's like he was denied. We did some pre-approvals, and he was denied because of, I guess, his history and his age.
The weird green Mao outfits and all that. It's really
He's 23.
Lesson. That's it.
And it's my goal is he's a videographer / photographer, but he's in and out of the hospital a lot. He has HS. It's really a relentless, severe skin condition, along with some other autoimmune things going on. So we're just looking for ways. His ultimate goal is our ultimate goal is to develop, to buy and buy land and develop real estate, whereas just to create streams to where he can have income for himself and my grandson, his son, even when he's incapacitated. And I just want to know, is that possible for a 23-year-old if he's too young?
Things, including his thumbs. It's a bit of a defect, you see. But they call him handsy because you see he doesn't actually attack his opponents like in the British Army and stuff with a rifle.
Okay, so should I go ahead and book the call? Does your team help with the building before, to help towards getting his personal credit, or help with getting the seed money to pay for the corporation, or do I book the call after after he builds his credit?
Book the call and
let me see. Let me go pull up if I can find this here really quickly.
Take her information and send her over to
they'd be like, they disrespect us. It's like, hey, this is
Yes, Mr. Barrett, please, after you enter your information in the chat box,
Here he is right here.
I think
yes.
before making moves, you should seek counsel. You should seek guidance.
That's what they call him.
Absolutely.
I tell you, but anyways, moving on to the IRA jokes, because every single time the car is full, we do have the IRA. We also have another book here showing another car going off in Moscow. Take a little gander at this one. Here it goes.
IT. They are moving rapidly. These young people are becoming billionaires.
Everybody back in the day.
Not millionaires, billionaires. Okay,
Man, honestly, man, give me flashbacks of London back in the 80s.
Technology companies and selling them for $500 million.
But then the car alarm just went off for a little while. We then got another clip here actually showing another one of these exploding in Moscow. This was in a totally different
If you
area.
notice,
and this one is the most interesting.
you can have a 6 or
that we have on
7-year-old and you may have complications trying to do something on the internet, and a 7 or 8-year-old will come right along and click,
this many hits on one day like those on presumably high-profile Russian targets.
This stuff is
that's not
made
just
for
the FSB. I thought they're supposed to be world-class. You know, the fraternity KGB. What's up with this?
It is interesting. It's showing a great deal of coordination and also concealment because apparently none of them were called.
Really taking advantage
we didn't even hear
of
the
what's
FSB
going on
announcing
today.
beforehand that they had called any bombs mounted on the
technology.
cars. So it appears that this entire operation went right under the noses of the Russian FSB. And this car attack right here that we're watching the firefighters deal with is the most interesting because according to some claims that we've been able to hear,
18 years old, I don't know what's his specialty.
A Russian lieutenant general. We don't know the exact.
He's a videographer, photographer. He's done videos for some major rap artists like Lil Baby and Rick Ross. But the editing takes a lot of time. And when he sits up like for days doing the editing, he gets these like sores on his legs. It's just, it's a lot. But he's a videographer slash photographer. He wants to get in.
I guess you could say under the table sorts of actions to make sure to get at the top Russian brass, considering that most of the top Russian brass are no longer targetable or hittable near to the area of the front lines. They've been far removed from the area after a lot of them got shot. Moving us on out of everything that's happening inside of the Russian Federation, it's now time for we do know of the ongoing drone attack that we are covering right now. We can't even the linear progress plan in Chechnya, which is about 1,000 kilometers into the Russian Federation. And I'm trying to visually identify where Chechnya is right now on the map. Unfortunately, folks, I don't know what it is. I've located Chechnya a million times. I can't see it on the map right now. It's somewhere within East Volga area, I'm pretty sure. Let me go type it in because I'm.
How about Anthony Thomas?
Which I just can't for some reason spot it. Yep, it was. I don't know why in the hell I couldn't spot that, but they did hit Cheboksary and they did hit.
To open your mic. How about David 5?
What's your question? It is time for us to get on into the front lines. Moving us into our location.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Whitehead?
The Russians have put out another abomination today in the Rodnik segment. I don't know what that is.
Thank you for taking my call.
It's almost like they were trying to build a turret on top of it.
I have a corporation with you guys.
Russian
but I'm pretty much kind of stuck.
Also, by the way, are those fake?
Because of my credit.
Like rocket pods?
And,
no, those actually look to be depth charges, and no, they're real. Like they're.
I was working with.
And also, I don't know what's up with the small
Brandy
that they have mounted to the hood, but I don't really know how that actually is supposed to work.
I was working with Mr. Brandon. Yes, sir.
The one thing that saved the entire project is the blue cable. Without that blue stripe right there, which they could call a good faster stripe, this thing right here could have been much slower than it could achieve right now.
Yes, sir. I was going to say I have possibly.
Honestly, at the top of the lot, Aniva, it appears that they have a collection of trash that they found in a dumpster in downtown LA. They just put it all together to make this sort of a
company going through a very rough time.
On top of the thing. We don't really know if that turret actually works, whether it rotates, or whether the
there's any extra help I could get from
I'm doubting all of that.
not facing a repo or going through something like that.
We're just not sure if it's operational or if there's any field of view out of it. Still, this is one of the ugliest things that we've seen made in the war so far.
Basically,
it deserves to be a summary today.
My situation has been kind of like kind of started since 2021. At the time, I was reaching out to Mr. Millen, hoping to get it going, but at the time, I couldn't really get it to go, and then I recently came back to it again. But my credit,
and it is pretty impressive to see.
Is something that just keeps going back to what it is. I own a truck in the trucking business.
382 supply trucks is the 9th highest daily loss. Special equipment correct total is 4,063, and ground roboticom the number of 7 today, which is the 9th highest.
Access to
on this infographic. Over the past
funding
24 hours,
that can get me out of
1,370 Russians have been wounded and killed.
Situation that I'm in, even though my credit is still bad.
Battle tanks, 75 artillery pieces,
it's going up and it goes back
drones,
down.
4 MLRSs, 2 anti-aircraft warfare systems, and 4 Bobcat skid steers. All in all, a pretty impressive day and a good thing to see. Moving us on from now, we also got to see
Mr. Brandon.
There were some attacks conducted on the city today.
Maybe you can grab you a PG. Work with people, you know. Say, listen, this is my idea. I know how to get the corporation. You go in PG, we work together.
I guess it's not concrete anymore. Call that thing
Stop trying to work by yourself.
I would have to say, I think one thing is concrete.
See how the lady just said, yeah, I'm working with my son.
That's concrete fact.
You have to have at least 3 people on your corporation. So get some people that want to work with you. Stop trying to do everything yourself.
He's learning me
509. Yes, sir. I need that 509. That's for you. Again, that's 47.
David, can you share your details so we can escalate it for you?
Very interesting, dissection.
Share my information.
Yes, in the chat box there.
Women actually speak
In the
in
chat box.
legible Russian, and every man in Russia.
Thank you so much.
They sound like they're blitzed to hell. You can't even understand what they're saying.
Slide there, or
like the woman said, something like that. And it was like, it's the concrete plan. It's like, okay, I can get that. And then the dude's like,
Victoria Gibson.
It's like, I don't even know what he's saying. Like, I wish I could tell you.
Hello,
what he's
Mr.
saying. I don't even have a damn clue. But this lady just said something like, wow, that's unbelievable. Like,
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just got my C Corps. I am scheduled for my onboarding call tomorrow. Thanks to Louisa helping me. I'm so freaking excited. I can't even explain it. It took me listening to you. I started listening around right before Christmas, and I got it after I listened to you 3-4 times, and I just want to thank you. And if there's anybody on this call that's doubting this or that's thinking that this is not real, this is the real deal. I did my business the wrong way. I'm in the real estate business. I bought some property, but now that I understand that I should have gotten the money first, I would have been a lot further along. But I just want to thank you guys. If you're on this call, these people do what they say they're going to do. If you're doubting it, you kept your word, Mr. Whitehead, for everything that you said, you did it. And I just want to thank you. And I didn't know you were a New Yorker. Yeah, you did. They're going to pull it off tomorrow. Okay, I'm from Brooklyn. So, yeah. So I'm just so excited. I just want everybody. I've been sharing this with so many people. And I mean, the person that actually told me about you, she didn't get involved. She just told me, listen to this guy. The first thing she said was, oh God, listen to this brother. He's so fine. I said, I'm not interested in his looks. I want to see what he's saying, But I am so thankful, and I can't wait. When I'm building my business to 5 million. That's what I need. I'm gonna crawl first, then I'm gonna walk, and then I'm gonna run. And I'm gonna share it with everybody. I just wanted to thank you so much for what you do, and we appreciate it here. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's right. How my Facebook or anything else is not as important as listening and getting what you need.
Working entirely off the sound.
What you need, right? Let's not get distracted, and let's keep it moving and teach your Thank you so much for the compliment. Okay.
Don't worry.
How about Isaj?
Mr. Whitehead, I just wanted to understand a little bit more in regards to when you're building a board or when you're having multiple people representing your company. I know you have to split an odd number, but who do you select? How do you, starting out, I feel that I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do you know how to divide shares when it comes to having a board?
Someone getting slammed into the trash.
Okay, so a board member is a different
gang throwing Ivan down the trash can.
on your court. If you're going to do
Hey
something,
kid, do you want to learn what happens when you do not pay?
make sure
Shit like man, it's like
investor
damn, they
know
don't play down
that
here.
you have somebody in your corporation that has
Man, they
experience.
thought corn pop was a menace
Okay,
around
so
town.
there's a difference between officers, which
They
is
back in
run the
Scranton, they had
company.
corn pop over here in Luhansk.
They
They've
don't
got
necessarily have to own
pickle
the company.
Padine. Like you don't
They can
know why
just
they call
run
it
it,
pickle.
right? So
Moving on from that, we also
that's
heard
the
the second
secretary.
tall chef's
That's a-
area that there
that's
was
a,
an MOD
president
in this area as well.
and
We can see two
CEO,
pictures of it
pretty
right
much
here
the
on
same
fire,
thing.
so that's quite nice. We
So
love to see it.
CEO
And we also were able to
slash
additionally see
president
within the
or
crematory
vice
in
president
Smolensk area
and a
that
secretary. You should
Russian
have at least
forces were
3
continuing to
people
get
on
hit
your
by
court.
Ukrainian
3
arrest
people, 5
warrants.
people, 7 people, 9 people. It should be odd number so you can vote.
That's actually
Now, some states require 3 people, some states require 5 people, but
they're still being used.
they don't mind because they're not here to teach you. They don't mind giving you a corporation and you being all 3. But when you go to funding and the bank sees that you're all 3, you look like a rookie.
Moving us
So
on
the
out of
bank
that,
you want to
it's
invest
now
in,
time for us to move on
you
down
gotta
into
post
the
what
area.
they
Got to post
require.
your props.
So, number 1, whenever you're going to do anything, if it's going to be technology, you should have somebody on your corporation that has done technology before, that has experience. Banks don't like rookies, and they don't like people.
Okay, so what's up with the cars floating around Moscow seemingly at random? Even though we know
You should have somebody in your corporation that has real estate background.
56% said Ukraine is taking out Russia. 19% said Russian partisans are getting
Somebody in your company that's
17% says it seems like it could be the FSB purging the top Russian officers. And I'll be honest with you, these days you really can't tell if the Russians are the ones doing it or the Ukrainians are doing it. Because sometimes the Russians are their own worst enemy. The one thing that does catch my attention, though,
car dealership. I don't know what
and
you're
especially
doing,
when they're in war,
but if
it would seem
whatever
like
it is,
these
big or
Russian
small, you
officers
should
would
have
probably
somebody
have like
on your
a
court
mirror
that
on a
has
stick.
done it,
Because
that
if y'all
has
didn't know,
experience.
when people,
The
like for
banker's gonna
example,
say,
intel
who has the
officers are deployed
experience? You're gonna say,
and they're deployed
we
in
don't.
foreign countries,
They're gonna say,
they
we
usually
don't have
pull out
money.
this long stick
We're
with
not
a
gonna
mirror
give
on the
you
end of
money.
it, and they'll
Right, so,
lock it underneath their car before they get into
the
it.
reason I say that
Just to make sure there's not a car bomb. But apparently the Russian officers didn't do that. They
board
simply got in the
member,
car, put the key in the ignition,
right,
turned it on,
on your board.
and it found out. So I would say I'm actually a little bit undecided. I'm not sure if it's
Officer takes, cuts, spells, deals, year, and for your
remember,
corporation.
Putin's very paranoid.
They're
So
there to help
I'm
the
not so
corporation.
sure who he is. But of course, if
I'm going to say that it's probably the
That's what
Ukrainians taking out
officers
some
do.
Russian officers.
You should have 3
Usually
of
these
them,
sorts of
so
strikes are
you
conducted
can
by Ukrainian forces within the Moscow
have
area, working in conjunction
different
with
people
Ukrainian SBU.
have
Strikes like these have happened before.
in
Funnily enough, one time they put a
growth of the
bomb in a
company.
motor scooter. Like, I don't even know. Like,
if you
that's
have
three
officers,
but
and your company,
and it worked.
you
So
can have
I would say this
100%
is
of the
definitely most
shares.
likely a
That doesn't
continuation
mean
of
that the
the
people working on the
Ukrainian
company
strikes
have to
in the
have
past.
any.
Which really are doing
If you
nothing but
decide that
sowing
there's
paranoia
3
in the Russian
people
command if they
and you
take
are
one of those
doing
guys out, they
family
just
work and you're going to
replace
business
them the next
together
day.
and
So
you
it
want
doesn't
to
really
divide
do a
up
lot of at least impact in real
that
sense to
company
the Russians' position
where
in
each
war.
person
But it is
owns,
keeping the Russian generals in Moscow in fear, which
33,
might keep
whatever
their
you call it,
minds on other
3%,
things rather than doing their jobs
right?
to the best of their
Then
abilities.
each person
that
owns
anyways.
a
So I hope that does for us that well, at least in my opinion. And
1/3
with that, it
of
is
the
time for us to
company.
move on down and into the area of the Zaporizhia.
So,
There has been a lot
if
of
you
news
want to
that
get a
happened
person
here
to
today.
own
We did not get
1%
to
of the
yet.
company,
We will be making
because you
sure
feel
to get
that's
to
what
it.
they're worth.
Moving us on
And
to
they
the
give
area
you
Storm
80%,
Malika,
but
we
you
got
get
to see the
20%,
RTD
and the other
cables.
person
Now,
just gets a salary.
I mean,
Whatever you want to do, that's how you do it.
I saw
But
that the birds
shares
started to take this stuff and they're cutting it with their
equal
beaks and
the
everything.
assets. If you got 10,
out of it.
10 trucks,
Man, honestly,
and
man,
each
I
worth $1
didn't
million,
think there were any birds
and you
left out
got
the North Pole on Tuesday.
over and over when I work for
Once they arrive, though, if the birds disappear and the North Pole arrive, then
We got 5 people. Honestly, we got
These are
4. We also
you
got
should
that
have,
some
but
radars
you
and
should
other
have,
installations were hit by
3
Ukrainian
people,
law
5 people, 7
including that
people,
air search
9
radar,
people,
this
an odd
facility,
number
and a
to
couple of
break a
other
vote.
buildings as well. This is
If you
just the
have,
intro to spice things up, but now it's time for us to
3
get into the meat
trucks,
of the matter.
and they're worth $1
This
million,
was a air
and
search
each
radar that
person
was hit a P-18
gets
Terek
33
in the
1/3
Zaporizhia.
shares.
We can see the shitty thing right here.
Person owns a truck.
That looks really janky.
Or they own
And now they're going to
company.
destroy
And
it.
if they want to leave the company or buy it out, then you buy it out for whatever the truck is worth. And now you take back the shares. They take the money and
They're now
go.
going to hit the Toyota. This is the same one as
Those are officers. If you have board members are people who have done what you're trying to do. They're usually older people who have experience in what you're trying to do. So you add them to your board so that they can guide you based on their experience. That's a board member.
Folks, the spirit of Obama.
And you can pay them either shares or a salary. Pardon me. Does that make sense?
Now you see the Donetsk
That made sense, Mr. White. I wanted to follow up with this question in regards to, are you still considering doing the mentoring program?
You see them blowing into pieces right there, and a second drift for a double tap. Everything's better when it's done twice.
A mentor program in about
They get that bing bing bong treatment.
Now see another one coming in an electrical substation.
We used to have a mentor program, and we had so many people. I found it impossible to do work. I'm not an internet person. I'm a businessman who's teaching on the internet. I'm not an internet person who's trying to do business.
And it's cooking nicely. Now we can
Most
see
of the
them
people on
once
the
again
internet
going after
are
the
internet people. Their life is the internet.
Did you see that?
What was it?
I'm a businessman who's doing
I don't know what that was,
internet.
but it went.
Oh, man, it's the orb. I'm going to start it up again. It's the orb. That is actually that's an unusual photo. Like
all the students that I'm trying to.
I think it ricocheted off of something, actually. Did you notice that? It almost like impacted the ground.
Breaking it down to 10 people.
Yeah, it was an artifact.
I can actually give them good attention and make sure that they're learning. About a week or 2 weeks, we're going to include
area where the sun's hitting. But then we saw the drone hit the
program.
target.
It won't be more than
Successfully
10
once
people
again, another substation around Mariupol. You now see
Yeah, feel free. How do I sign up, or I already get my information?
Creature for the future. Training battlefield. Bounce around, Mach 5, trying to get out of the atmosphere. The shag back in after this 10 hours. Great, though. We'll make some bank on you, and then you come back and find out it was all bogus.
Tony, it's that black magic. That sick wizard shit. It's like, get that man out of shit.
All right.
That was weird.
How
I was
about Maria
the whole
James?
thing out of it, but the chat's going to do it for us anyway. But it was kind of odd, though. Very abrupt change of flight pattern.
I will say this, though. The Ukrainians must be electricians really blowing up these substations all over Mariupol. This is like the fourth one. There you go again. This is actually a
Looks like
substation.
last question here. Sebastian Hartsfield. Oh no, there's another.
Yeah, honestly, I would hate to be an electrician right now in the occupied territories. You're at work every day, all day, just repairing what was
Rosin Ray.
Also, by the way, someone in the chat said,
Okay.
I was curious, how come we spend so much time talking about the Iranian attacks and the impacts of their attack, but discussion of the U.S. hitting their targets inside of Iran? That's mainly because
Sorry, I was
photo and video
struggling to get my mic
because
on.
the U.S. isn't publishing that. At least right now, they're not. So it's hard to assess it if we don't have any visual evidence to work with. Meanwhile, we had a ton of videos.
I'm purchasing one of your files as we speak, and I wanted to know once I make my final payment.
So we didn't have.
I wanted to know what's the process then. What happens? Do you pick out of the files that you guys already have, set and aged? I wanted to know what happens after
we don't even get to see what they hit. If you understand what I'm saying, like
yes, the corporation files that you guys that I'm purchasing. Like once I make that final payment, I wanted to know what's the next step? What do you guys do? Because I was told that.
With video and picture. If the U.S. bombs something and we have no video a picture evidence of it. All we can do is say they bombed something, and that's the end of it. We can't analyze what the hit did, what kind of impact it had, what kind of system it destroyed. We don't have any of that information to work with. We also don't have a video to decide either. So that's why U.S. strikes get absolutely no attention. If you would like for us to give it attention, you could write to the office of the president.
We have a soft box sitting there. We can sit down and in front of you. Like regalia.
Thanks, they don't post any of real name. The name doesn't mean anything. More, which I'd be more than happy to. You can write to those two people or those two individuals and see if they'll listen to
You say they, meaning you guys start building, or would I have to deal with the information that you're supplying to the
webinar? We will see another clip from the Zaporizhia front showing Russian artillery getting destroyed by the Ukrainian 55th Separate Artillery Brigade. This is what's called counter battery action. Russians hiding behind that net, but they hit the oil barrel instead.
Do yourself.
That oil barrel is pretty pricey these days. One day it can be 120 dollars per barrel, or the next day it can be 80. It just depends on how the oil traders wake up and feel.
Your social security number. We don't want to know any of that, right?
Now, Bobby told me that you guys have the file, like for instance, the names the files that you guys have built up.
See the same person saying, "I don't mean."
And obviously, the name means nothing, like you said. You taught us, and I was told that once I make my final payment, that you will provide the names that you guys have built up on the files, and I will be able to choose if I pick the ones that you guys have, or I can select my own. Is that true?
Something up there, and we have to move on.
They pick a name for you.
You're getting aggressive with him, man. I was like, dang, you're aggressive on him. I was like, I don't think you meant it like that.
If the name is not a big deal.
Well, no, I mean, like, no, I'm more so exasperated. My tone sounding angry. I'm getting more so exasperated, not the question, but at the lack of transparency by the Department of Defense. That's why I was like, if you want anyone to fix it, you can write to them, because it's really aggravating and incredibly infuriating, folks, that we can get endless libraries daily of footage from Ukraine, from the Ukrainian armed forces, and yet the U.S. military acts like every single thing that they do has to be classified to the.
So I know you said, I'm going to make it quick because I don't want to ask too many questions, but
whatsoever. It was really aggravating.
I'm doing the thing that you said not to do. I want to do a restaurant, but I know that I can't get any funding for that. I have to use something that means nothing with the right zip code.
And that's very scary. So whenever we do get footage, we try and break it down and analyze it the best we can, but it's just so few and far in between, we can hardly give any attention to it. Moving us on from that.
So what do I do? Like the name that you're talking about, when I get that C Corp that you're providing once I pay for it, I wanted to know, knowing that I'm going to do a restaurant, I know I can't use that one right now. I had to get a SIC code for the bank to give me the.
The big fan of the trader. You have to do your 9 megas.
Disgrace.
Yeah, that's not what you expected. I got a knee brace. The last thing you check.
Let it fall into the
I need a knee brace.
Legal Zoom is the simple, affordable solution for estate. You need a will three-step to ensure your loved ones and assets are protected.
This is far. Let's get these standards right. Call 1-800-MEDICARE. I'm going to make this real simple. National Forest Direct will keep anyone's price by 15% or it's free. Free room. It's 70% off. Big box warehouse. It doesn't matter what the sale or offer is. We'll keep their price by 15% or it's free. Call 888-404 and get a guaranteed low price on next day installation of name brand carpet and luxury flooring. 888-404. We keep their price by 15% or it's free. Really simple. Join the Taylor Fair. We get glam, get ground, and we love from loud, going out. The Cameron office.
611 on 5
Proposed a date
said, you know, like, oh,
forget this first, because Carol Baldwin is the real winner of yesterday's final stage trophy. On his before that, the final last night as well. It's so much fun. He's performing and he's performing.
pray for that absolutely. Car's breaking down, completely broke, like, essentially my life is hell. Essentially my life is hell. I'm just kidding. Intelligence is the most important thing on the battlefield. That is one of the most important assets that you have.
Whatever you want, and you go.
Already building out this infrastructure.
All I'm going to go through.
Have the ecosystem that I use, and what capabilities can be extracted.
Okay, this is pretty great. Oh, well, the first time I scream like that's really real fun. It's not a support with you, and everybody has to eat like a new dance video.
VHF, HF radio system.
Right there.
Man portable setup. Turns out extremely hard thing to do. I've essentially come up with an ecosystem based off of.
They give me anxiety, and that gives me anxiety. Like,
along with being able to hit the 10 to 40 meter.
Here we get the speeding. You know, we got U.S. Representative Sarah McBride in D.C. And we've established and we know that she's a big fan of the traders. And so we tell her that Joe Obama just said if she had to go on any reality show, she would pick the traders. It's going to be a good one. I would watch that. I think that would be the greatest reality TV show season. It's great. She would be the perfect trainer if she would be the perfect trainer. No one would dare pick her. Would you ever go under her? And step one is just, you guys can make fun of me, I don't care. You have to do your own makeup.
Jungle antenna or any other type of configuration.
How is it? So what would be your ideal one to go on? What would be
still being
for still being sodium? Mr. Did you know? By doing it. So why? Just
from small battery packs, things that are manufactured are going to singular man-packable.
Every night, look at everything that was white.
Remind people,
This is extremely useful for a multitude of reasons. Say you needed to hit a
you never be out there.
and then you needed to quickly switch to
That's exactly the same caliber, but it's all about that.
systems allow you to meaning HF radio
Great things you can get control him out with JB's there right now.
to reach the same distance.
You're saying that it's good racist to me.
Outlet might need an antenna only half this size in order to
It seems like you're in a few more questions.
running off of a 5-volt battery pack. We need a much longer with a tiger tail coming out that'll essentially act as another arm of do is simply adjust this
Brad, I mean, it's not going to be the next mayor of Los Angeles. I'm like third behind this year Robin, and there's something going on around the election. So far, the representative from Carolina being out of it, it's the fact that you so I'm getting California. I mean, it's a thing. How long these things gonna get done? And Hearing electrical interference. Well, funny, these should be a little more depth to getting what's done.
Supplement as much as possible. Only solar panels.
Pretty close though, right?
Maybe we're definitely in the ballpark.
I don't know. I think it's done a great job in this government, in this case, standard spike.
Oh God, don't point to a pineapple.
Battery requires power delivery to charge it. A proxy external power bank is needed to act as a sort of charge control. Day or when we have to. ThinkPad and pretty much any other electronic.
Innovative micro-oxide cells find your rising needs. Move on from product distribution, it's also been shared, it's been today at the
In order to get power. Now this as an interface for J6 call and system control plotter, and this entire field computer setup is on field computers.
Provide Toyota certified used vehicle and find out just how far Toyota's ready for their reliability can go. Which was just some factory back limited warranty, security, capability, and affordability only at your authorized Toyota dealer. Now get 4.99% financing on select certified used models. Toyota, let's go places.
5 minutes.
Here with Brad and Daniel, a higher ground fans with me. Now, one of the biggest questions people have is, how do I make sure I'm still plan on funding retirement? Looking to create an income plan last. Well, the national limit base, you can only be about 4%. Even if you make 7, 8, 10, 12, 15% of what you do, you can only be about 4% for those 3 good maybe you have money built up, but you know, how does it come from? That comes from the idea that if the market crashes early, you can't take too much out, because otherwise you're the devil in and you may never recover. But we had a client that came to us and he'd save up $2 million for it. But the value is at 4%. That's why they got to take it down. I think that's $80,000. Even more than that. So we 7 of them find it. They all say the same thing. How did you build that solution to your client? Well, we gave them 2 options. Option number 1 was the volatility buffer. That's crazy. You need to find them. But actually gives them more income because they draw from this safe and guaranteed bucket in the bad years and not draw from the market that's selling when it's low. So that was one option. And that's actually the one of the movement strategy is warm up the line of money sitting on the sticky lines ready for an opportunity. And the other idea was the big checks and delay check strategy. You know, it's pointed by a good friend, Tom, that great, but the idea is having part of your money that is guaranteed was be there every single month with a food check. And a lot of us don't have pensions to work, but you can buy a pension. So this client was able to get a pension that covered most of the income that he needed. And the rest of it was surplus, that wage check return. That is so smart. The 8 checks of wage check, I love that visual. Now, if you want to structure their income plan that way, how can they work with you? You can go to our website, riskfeestaxes.com to learn more. Incredible information for a complex topic, and you can grab the fan of the highly ground financial group talking about retirement income plan. Back to the generation for CNC provided by the reducing customizing car insurance to help people pay on it. One. With osteoarthritis. Adverse events may include ataxia, anorexia, and lethargy. Not using breeding, pregnant, or by taking dogs. Take extreme care to avoid self-injection.
Out doing an upstairs or a family dinner, suffering Black Lives Matter. Toronto, 48, Brisbane, they're actually there on three term. Recently, Thunder got everything with his son is the most positive man you'll ever be. I'm stating the photo of really positive about for 12-year-old stuff. Okay, that's a big word. Well, you know, those are multiple. And so that's like that now as well, so like getting away from the holidays. And whether you're like whose veins run with rot. Anything dark and woman with something. One day, don't remember my brother was talking. They were not urgent. I don't remember anything.
The lure of madness will not shake me from what must be done.
You make big profits by trying to pay off small play things. Fighting insurance companies all day, every day. All day. The ridiculously brilliant business of explaining that. For the worst of me. Okay. They said at 1.99% APR, the 3,500 customer get done in effect for weeks for $3.19 a month. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Hey, we just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's a 76-year-old guy who still runs Megaphone, right?
Actually, not anymore.
What? You mean?
Just like that.
Wow. I'm sorry. Have the weenie life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're getting coverage, so you don't have to worry about it.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan?
I am. We're putting it off long enough. We are getting the $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to follow for the $9.95 plan? I'm John. Only for life insurance. Sometimes you just need a reminder to take the day with Ray. It could be the death of someone you know or a health scare. That's why today would be a great day. Call for free information about blowing $9.95 plan. If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions, so you can't be turned in for any health reason. This is permanent coverage. Just pay your premiums for lifelong insurance. The $9.95 plan is the most number one top plan. Starting at $9.95 a month, less than 35 cents. Your rate should never go up. It's locked in for life. Don't put it off. Take the first easy step. Call today for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary plan. Just call now. Call 1-800-290-3399 for your free information and free gift. That's 1-800-290-3399. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-290-3399. 1-800-290-3399. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn.
Thinking about trusting that insurance company as your passport? Maybe yeah, I'll just work it for anything that.
I took on a smartphone.
For 3,000, the insurance company will offer the patient's tax. You gotta take it. But the insurance doing you, remember, you have a word. When you need a brand, science, you have a phone, you have a word. Or 1-800-WORD, you have a word.
The residential cell thing is sitting up on Fox 5 and Fox Local.
Once I waged war. Have awakened. I spare them from what they've become.
Big free trying to one. Have you watched the crack? It's so good, like the car never plays it.
Sagas will mark their
We're not about to
I love sneaking.
the fury of an iceborne.
Died by Joe. For a few grateful more than 70 years. Does your bathroom look like this? Chipped, dated, milky, almost stained. First that put it clean on you. Can have a price. But the shower that makes you drink in one day. It's beautiful and makes you feel safer. And that's your very own haven to relieve. And at least day.
What's your reason? The bottom is personal. And the 50 makes your relationship personal. Very personal. You need to get a safer in the shower with grab bars to make costumes too. Plus, you need to add a beautiful bath that works for the whole family. Or you're just ready to update your shower with style and quality that will last for
Dreams from the person every month. Making installation book with a OTV offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. The Gucci bath remodel. You can get all this customized to fit your budget and your need. And the best part, you can have it all installed in 1 day.
It was like, you took it. I can have a whole bathroom, tub and shower, and install a new one. And 1 day, jacuzzi. It is done in the same day. You did not have to wait. It is amazing. Thank you that remodel.
Today, dropping it on to Gucci bath remodel customers all across America doing their installation. Just what you have to say as they watch their baths transform before their own eyes.
Those instant challenges like I'm trying to play there. Just throw a stuff and you're taking them off.
But you're looking to upgrade style, make your bath more comfortable, or you know, make the shower safer. From experts at Jacuzzi Bath Remodel as they walk you through an amazing 1-day installation. See for yourself why Jacuzzi Bath Remodel is the right choice for you. But that's not all. Real estate expert and TV personality Christina Hawk will join a few lucky customers to hear their special bathroom stories. Whether you're looking for a classic style or the latest trend, because stand the way your old bathroom looks, or maybe you're worried about your safety when stepping over the tub just to take a shower.
Looking up into the shower and throwing, building new jacuzzi, I'm not worried about that at all. That's how it's peace of mind.
Now we're waiving all installation costs with our special TV offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you. Installed in just 1 day with just a bath remodel.
You know, so much reason I love working with you. It's like a household thermometer that I can watch. Shower, soap, and steams are amazing, and their hot tubs are done around the world. I see firsthand how they're bringing the safe fluids and both indoor and outdoor experiences from their hot tubs right to your bathroom shower. So for cooling impacted, they can install a beautiful bathroom shower at an affordable price in 1 day. Work on the computer for everyone. Either the team and their ones to them listen and install one. So it's a lot sooner. You need to be talking about his name with the quality. shower for 2 months. It's time to replace it. So why struggle with a lengthy shower remodel? You can do it one day. And there's no need to break a sweat or your budget. Right now, we're waiting fix the cost, plus offering 0 insurance and 0 payment for up to 1 year. You can fire and convert your old bath to a safer, easy-to-drink shower, or put in a custom sink, wrap bar, and slippery resistant form. Installed in 1 day.
My overall experience with this new deal has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I didn't win a price today. Great experience. Story.
Don't take matters into your own hand. Do it the smart way. Your jacuzzi bathroom all along.
Installation gone. You offer at no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you. Installed in just 1 day with just a bath remodel. The process is so easy. First, designers come to your home, bringing the shopping right to you. You see the colors and designs right where they'll be, and you'll feel the quality and textures right in your hand, in your face.
We walked us through how the installation was going to go, and he was very thorough.
And
I love this jacuzzi paddle, the fishers and grandfather's or storage caddy.
This is built the vacuum of your drinks that you always wanted. Then, you'll need to come together right before your eyes, and it's customized just for you. You don't want to give up the bath or shaving? Love having an arrangement of scopes to choose from? We have plenty of storage up. And let's talk about the installation. You see, unlike some of those other companies who just slap a flimsy paper over your existing shower or tub, the installers at Jacuzzi Vegetable Natural shower or tub, here they studs. For a total bath rebuild that's done right. We're taking everything out, so it's fresh and new. The entire installation is done in just 1 day, so you don't have to live in a mess.
They came in the morning, they did the demo, and they did the install and did that. Being able to have that was a gift.
ugly, dated, naked, but unsafe, the shower, totally bothered. Here's the easy. I call it Jacuzzi. And with a beautiful bathroom of ingredients installed in just 1 day. That's it. This would take the beach the fun just 1 day, and you won't need to break anything. Right now, we're waiving installation costs plus offering 0 interest and 0 payment for up to 1 year. Jacuzzi bathroom model makes it simple. Our local design consultants will work to you with exclusive, genuine jacuzzi features and designs to help you create the custom bathroom of your dreams. It's easy to clean and even easier to love. Over 70 years, Jacuzzi has been the most trusted name in line. Install the bathroom service practice tip and the peace of mind will lifetime warranty.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi is that it was customized the way I needed for the price today.
It wasn't making holiday. It's in the day. And as you can see, bathroom model, right down to status. And then to a truly new customized bathroom shower, let me convert your updated bath into a stunning, easy-to-use shower with features like rock and sink. So you can enjoy enhanced safety inside. And best of all, you can have it all installed in just 1 day. So what are you waiting for? Down that hammer and pick up the phone. Deserve the luxury of a customized space that makes you feel good. But choose the smart way and call Jacuzzi bathroom model.
All installation gone with a special TV offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you. Installed in just 1 day with Jacuzzi bath remodel.
I did that much fun.
Jacuzzi has been making water so great for more than 70 years. So, you know it's a brand you can trust. For a home sanctuary you'll love for years to come. Just look at these gorgeous custom designs. Plus, we offer free visual design services. Put the path of your dreams right in your home home. Every detail is covered for a solution just for you.
We truly understand. shower rod, grab shells. You grab shells are the latest trend because they not only look great, they provide tons of extra storage. And they function just like a grab bar. You need to hold on to something for adequacy. And did you know, Christina, that there is a wide variety of accessories to choose from, and they can all be customized to match your style?
All right. Especially love the top closed doors. You know, make all the hardware work. Spring the whole to get so much fun watching your first bathroom. I know.
The thing is, it's 1, 2, 3. You choose the style, you choose the accessories, and you choose the date. You do all the rest. What? All backed by a lifetime warranty. That's it. This is Gemini. Sure do. Right now was the best time to get a new shower of easy bathroom. You see, it's never been more affordable. But with our no mess, no stress.
Which is before me after. And I thought, this could be my get it.
Special offer. With all like that, waiving all installation costs with an offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now. Free, no obligation, in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you from the most trusted thing with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
We're calling Jacuzzi Bath Remodel right now.
Well, maybe you're just tired of the old worn-out eyesore with the outdated colors, tiles that might be cracked, fading, or impossible to clean rent. Christina, did you know that the average shower is up to 300 minutes crap? Well, if the deep bath or shower just rinses clean to resist mold and mildew. RO, these people always say them. See, stepping over that tub to take a shower and bring you to help with a safer or stylish shower that you'll love. It's custom designed for you. Every time you step over the old bathtub, don't worry then. Oh, I don't have those kids. You can be back to model figure gorgeous support. Thanks.
But remodel? No. We both entries to the dorm, it even got quite easier. And how about the stuff?
Wait, you can feel secure when bathing in your new shower?
Jacuzzi Bath Remodel is everything. Always have their customer well-being in mind. They are just transforming your bathroom and making it a more experience. Giving you that peace of mind when showering.
That's right. Now's the best time to get in the shower with this special limited time off. Time is running out to take advantage of this special offer. When you call right now, we're waiving all installation costs with our special TV offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free, no obligation, in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you from the most trusted name with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
Yeah. How are you going to use that shower? So excited to out of my home.
I want to speak to your supervisor. Okay.
That was ugly, outdated, made it even unsafe down the shower. You can remodel with all of it. Do the easy one. I call it Jacuzzi.
What seems to be
Beautiful bathroom accessories installed in just 1 day. That's right. It doesn't take weeks or months, it's 1 day, and you won't need to break anything, not even a day.
Now we're waiving all installation costs with our special TV offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you, installed in just 1 day with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now. Jacuzzi is a full-service company. There's no contract to pull that off.
Jacuzzi Bath Remodel makes it simple. Our local design consultants come right to you with exclusive, genuine jacuzzi features and designs to help you create the custom bathroom of your dreams. That's easy to clean and even easier to love. And everything we install is backed with superior craftsmanship and the peace of mind of a lifetime warranty.
The warranty gave me a big piece.
want to have something that they're going to stand behind. My overall experience with jacuzzi has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I wanted it or the price that I. The jacuzzi bathroom mountain with above EVM. It's amazing.
Now you can experience the jacuzzi bath remodel difference affordably through this exciting special TV offer. We're waiving all installation costs and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call or go online right away and see for yourself just how it can be to choose all the safety, style, and features you need with the quality and trust only Jacuzzi can deliver. This is a special TV offer, so don't wait to schedule your free design consultation today. Call now.
Into a stunning, easy entry shower, featured like so you can enjoy infinity inside. And best of all, you can have it installed in just 1 day. You deserve the luxury of a customized space that makes you feel great. So choose a smart one and call Jacuzzi Bath Remodel today.
Time is running out to take advantage of this special offer. When you call right now, we're waiving all installation costs with our special TV offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free, no obligation in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you from the most trusted name with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
I love working with the jacuzzi design consultants. They come with a variety of designs to choose from, and they're really a good option for everyone. From the salesperson to the installer, rank them a 10 from the beginning. Everything was straightforward. They were able to do it all in 1 day and give them what exactly you have to say.
Why do you like that lady?
I've been thinking about upgrading my bathroom for the last 6 or 8 months. I was stuck in my shower. Safety was an issue. I am afraid of falling, and so I just want to be as safe as I can. Well, the jacuzzi team came in and introduced themselves. They laid everything out for me, and they explained the process. I was just really impressed with it. So I decided my jacuzzi design consultant brought a lot of samples in, and I got what I liked. And it just happened that one of the rooms in the area where I live, just like having a real friend here, begged to save a lot of paper in the guy. Oh my God. Perfect. I'm like, you don't so much bigger than my house. The floor is flat. I don't have to worry about slipping. The grab bars are perfect. Perfect placement, perfect size. Happy with my new jacuzzi bathroom model. It's perfect. And the warranty is fantastic. They're only a phone call away. If I need something, they're because they're local. And the bathroom far exceeded me. And now I'm proud of it. Do you have an ugly, outdated, maybe even unsafe bath or shower? You could remodel it anyway. Or you could do it the easy way by calling Jacuzzi and get the beautiful bathroom of your dreams installed in just 1 day. That's right. It doesn't take weeks or months, just 1 day, and you won't need to break anything, not even the bank. Right now, we're waiving installation costs, plus offering 0 interest and 0 payment to 1 year. Jacuzzi Bath Remodel makes it simple. Our local design consultants come right to you with exclusive, genuine jacuzzi features and designs to help you create the custom bathroom of your dreams. That's easy to clean and even easier to love. For over 70 years, Jacuzzi has been the most trusted name in WANA. And freaking